hope you're all ready, because they're not, but it'll be fine. And we are live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Addicted Podcast, episode number 47. And
hello.
Hello.
Today we are joined by the one and only Mr. Little Bit of Madness.
Hello.
Down in the other corner, down there, if I'm right, is Mr. Biomechanical. Welcome back.
Hello.
And the or the ever memorable, we won't go into his background of last podcast, Mr. Darjanator.
Goodbye.
And he's off. That's it, all done.
Well done.
So yeah, good evening, guys. Episode number 47. It's another great week. We've had a little bit hot off the press, some cargo information, which we will be going through. But first of all, we're going to do English Ms. English. Okay, I thought you all knew the Ms. Speak, but clearly we've got some new guys here, so we'll lay off the Ms. Speak tonight, and we'll just stick with English podcast only.
English Ms. Speaking English.
So how are you, everybody?
What is this language?
Yes, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What misspeak? If you hang in my Discord for more than a day, or if I jump on any of your streams, you'll soon learn misspeak. It doesn't take long. Darjanator is showing.
Start right away.
He's having a nice hobgoblin gold. I have got. We can't see it because the green screen's messed it up. But a nice Leffy blonde. Who doesn't like a bit of a Leffy blonde?
I am full Pharrell's cider. Very strong vintage. Very nice.
I beat you all. Nice bottle of
Rebranded
game on it.
Evian. Yeah, it says game Evian.
Have you kept that bottle because it literally says game on it?
Yes. I've kept two. I've got two with game on it.
I can one up you because I actually have the proper glass for this.
And I have a hobgoblin glass as well.
Oh,
I do not, but I
just go cowboy baby all the way.
I have a goblet.
Not too bad, not bad, not bad. I mean, we talk about this stuff because this is obviously like you lot come into a pub. We're having a nice Star Citizen chat as we do.
Yeah. Also, can we just say discuss why the fuck a goblet isn't a tiny goblin?
Yes, that would be an awesome name for a little goblin, actually. A goblet, or is that a female goblin?
That is a female one, surely.
It is. Okay.
You're putting something in it, so it's got to be a female, surely.
Good point.
I see I'm on the right show.
I'm just saying, if everyone knows fundamentals in in male imagery and symbols, that's a male symbol, and then the reverse is the one with the opposite, that female symbol, the male symbol. One's going into the other. Penetration, the same. Fundamentals.
I think I should just.
Have you started off really strong already? Started off strong.
I think you have, yes.
So
started strong.
So
we do roundups this week. Go for it.
So Madness, if you want to tell everybody what you've been up to this week.
I've been recovering heavily from a cold. You could probably still hear a little bit of them. A bit blocked still.
Same here, mate.
Here. I'm sure it's been going around. I think it's been doing the rounds.
I had a good snog afterwards last week, so.
Yeah, so I do apologise if I cough and sniff a little bit now and again, but it's much better. I wrapped myself up last night, and I was like, I'm going to sweat this out. So I was like, just wrapped up.
Blanket burrito, eh?
But yeah, literally, like wrapped myself up and just kind of like drank a shit ton of water, and then just said, right, okay, body, do your thing. I'm going to bed early. I'm not drinking alcohol for a couple of days, and that was the hardest thing, really. But then, and then I'm feeling a bit better today. So much better. And then in terms of Star Citizen, streaming as usual, kind of like we did the Friday thing. Unfortunately, got a little bit interrupted, but we had a really cool clip, which I will dig out later, and I'll post it up. Where I had a wicked fight with Extravaganza and myself. I was in my M50. They were in their Saber, and two Sabers just dropped in, and we pretty much cleaned them up in about, I think it was like 15-20 seconds. It was ridiculous how fast we took them out. So yeah, it was that was a highlight for me in terms of combat.
Champ is here.
It was just wicked, baby. The champ is here, baby. No, it was sick. It was sick. It was so good.
Yeah, you got to fight Mav.
And Miscreated. Sorry, I've been playing with Bristleboy and Twerk's team. Basically, I've got on. So
over to the redacted side of life.
I've been on their server and trying to get the Twerk team on Miscreated in between the free time that I've got, which is not much at the moment. Yeah, that's me. Pretty good.
Cool.
My volume is a bit over peaking. Is it? What? Honestly.
For me, been following my schedule, like I said about last time. So I've been I've been actually pretty ill, so been off work, been sick, been
so
horrible.
sick. You had to stream.
Yes. Well, no. I didn't stream for 3 days.
Your boss doesn't watch your stream by any chance?
No. Well, I hope not. I'll go back and say, well, I caught you streaming. How were you ill? But no, like...
Or you won't be going back at all.
No. Guys, then I'll be coming to you and go, please, everyone in chat, help me. I need a job.
They would just come onto your stream. Come onto your stream saying you're fired.
That would be it.
It's just like the facts in Back to the Future too.
Fire guide. I'm not the tour guide, the fired guide. Yeah. Yes, I've been streaming and been just doing community stuff, and that's pretty much it for me.
And finally, Mr. Darjanator. What have you been up to? Is it CitizenCon? Before CitizenCon you was on last, wasn't it?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, he ignored me at CitizenCon as well. I waved to him at Bar Citizen and he just walked past me going,
I just had so many other stuff to do.
There's somebody else there, I don't know who you are, and he walked past.
Did you win the gold ticket as well, or was it just Darj?
It was just Darj.
Just Darj.
Oh.
I could have done, but I ended up going to the back of the queue to meet up with the people that I knew.
No, that wouldn't have made a difference, because it was only 50 tickets.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
It's because I went back.
To make me feel good that I gave it to someone else. Because I left.
Yeah. But what have I been up to? Fixing my car, basically. Game-wise, I finished Wolfenstein 2, which was pretty okay. Short, though.
That's what I thought. That's what I heard. That Wolfenstein. I haven't heard great reviews, but I've heard that Assassin's Creed is better than it in terms of if you're going to buy game. Assassin's Creed.
Do not play Assassin's Creed. I was burned far too many times.
On the new ones or the original ones?
Just on Assassin's Creed, man. I'm not going in there anymore. So
even Ezio Editori, he was like awesome. Ezio was amazing. Look, you've even looked like Ezio a little bit with the tash and the kind of thing going on.
I have, and I shit you not, an official Ubisoft Assassin's Creed hoodie, which is white with a little pointy thing here. The first one for the first game. That's how much I was into the game and in Ezio. But fuck them. No, I'm not doing it anymore. No.
The third one was a letdown for me. The third one, when it went to the Native American one, I kind of lost it. It was too big and there wasn't much to do in it.
The pirate one was a bit fun, but
that was my
favorite at that point.
It had good bits, but it was still you still did stupid things jumping. Anyway, sorry, was just interesting.
But in terms to Star Citizen, just eating a lot of guacamole.
Guacamole?
Yeah,
a little bit of clue there.
Right. Yeah, it's just a tight clue. I realized that I shouldn't even be joking about this, about the avocados and NDA. Just this was hilarious. And I think I mentioned it on another podcast. I tried to joke about it when I was being interviewed by Ulf on the stream.
Yeah.
And as soon as I mentioned NDA, the camera guy, who was the only one with an earpiece connection to Disco, he just started going. Just nope, do not. So we just immediately changed the topic, and I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, I suppose they were worried that you would though. Live to everybody.
Live.
I did have a beer glass in my hand, so
Yeah.
They didn't want to
take
any chances. If I
was drunk enough, it probably would come out. That's the problem. It's like, so every time I tried to spawn a fucking ship.
I need to go to this. I need to go to a CitizenCon. I think next year. I think I'm gonna.
Next year? When is it? Where is it going to be next year?
Possibly London.
Well, there's Austin, which is what a lot of people think is the cycle that it belongs to, so that's been next. However, there's also rumours of it being in the UK again. Potentially
it's going to be Manchester, if
42.
anything, or maybe Derby.
I would have thought Manchester if it went back to the UK, yeah.
It all depends on venue. You got to think about the venues and like the scale and the potential.
They want it to be bigger, don't they?
If it's going to be a Squadron 42 release, let's just hypothetically hype it up a little bit here. Let's just say Squadron 42 is done, the first story, and they want to do it big. There's no better place than doing something big in London. Also, think about all the people coming in from around the world will probably want to come in. Let's say this announced Squadron 42.
I should do London.
Look at him like
maybe that might be, but no. I don't mind going to Manchester either.
London.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying it's like if you think of like people flying in, like Heathrow, big, it's easier. London's easier. It would be a logical choice.
It's also there will be more choices for the proper venue, because if they want to do a repeat of this year's CitizenCon, they need a big place that can be sectioned off into several areas, and also where it was last time just wouldn't have worked. It was at the Manchester Airport Museum, something underneath the Concord, and it was basically just what the CitizenCons were before. It was one presentation and then off you go. And which is something they say they don't want to do, and I agree with them, because this year's CitizenCon was the best one ever by orders of magnitude.
Question:
Is that my best one? It's my first one.
Do you think that's because they actually got it properly sponsored by Intel rather than it being?
Could be.
Yeah.
Which is probably also the reason why the date and location was announced so late, like a lot later than before. But it could have also been just, trying to get everything sorted out and not just money-wise.
Do you think that'll be a constant now? Intel will be the main sponsor for all of the CitizenCons and the main events. I mean, it would make sense, right? But I'm just...
What was that? Somebody watching sports?
It sounded like a drill.
Like a whistle.
Drill.
I thought like a referee's whistle or something like that.
Oh! Might be my wife. I do apologise.
I do apologise. They're blowing the whistle. Hey, that's it. Podcast over.
Time out. Done. No more.
This is half time, guys. Thanks for watching. We're going to be back in another
sport. She's watching. My missus likes her team's playing the New England Patriots NFL team. So she's a big Tom Brady fan. So she's sat there googling Tom Brady right now.
In these tight leggings.
Yeah.
Or does she prefer the awkward-looking shoulders because they're like twice the size?
I think we were talking about Star Citizen.
Sorry, yes, we got onto cracks.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was so startling. Just like somebody called the time out.
It's like, we can't take this anymore. That's it. We're definitely
it's done. No, but but on the topic though, it does it interesting because obviously everyone that went there have all said how good it was. I mean, for me as the viewer from the outside perspective, it seemed very well organized. They had lovely, they had the desk, the dev panels. I do think they actually took a little bit of stuff that I think they actually followed a little bit more than what the BritainCon guys did, because that was the way they kind of laid out the BritainCon, where they had the dev panels and then they had activities and things going on. So I think. The BritainCon guys did a good job.
It wasn't the first official CIG event where they had those. Like at Gamescom's, even the Star Citizen events they had before. I think like at the first Gamescom presentation I went to, wherever it was, somewhere in Cologne, they had several floor PCs for people to play the game.
Gamescom was a little bit different though, wasn't it? Because it was not.
Did they have the panels? Did they have?
That's what the booth thing was about, wasn't it? It's like a game.
No. I mean, actual not at the
the
actual convention, but at the Star Citizen bespoke event, which was in a completely different location.
Oh, right, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So
yeah, but the way they did it this year, it was just
it was smooth. It came across like it was very seamless. In terms of it was like bang, 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 and it made for a fantastic. I have to say, I had to drive up to my parents, and I was watching, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to leave because I was I wanted to watch the whole. It was like
the parents thought it was no, he's here for us.
Yeah, and I'm driving in the car, listening to the live conference, kind of going along, going. Shit, I'm trying to concentrate on that. I'm trying to concentrate on this, and I got my kid. It was fantastic though, because it was just every time I heard something, I was just like. Oh, this is so cool.
Too much to do, though.
I know.
If you wanted to watch every presentation, you were gonna miss out on everything else that was going on.
Yeah, well, you couldn't do it all there on the day either. So, yeah.
So if you were there, you had to really pick and choose. But for me, I could watch everything. But for you guys, because you want to interact with everybody, because at the end of the day, you might never see these people for
It's not
ages,
just that you could watch everything, as in panel-wise. You couldn't see the stuff that we looked at. So we had to go. I got a chance to go and have a look at the face rig stuff. We had a chance to go and look at those people that were building the outposts. There was a couple.
And there was like the LAN party and people's getting face scanned.
There's weapons that are being built, wasn't it, as well? That's been given out now.
Oh yeah, I haven't checked that out before yet. I mean,
yeah, you should have them now.
All those, yeah, they finally come out, yeah.
Finally.
Well, they did. They said they were going to be no later than the Monday, the 6th of November, but it's only taken
a while,
until the end. But it's fine. It's fine.
Well,
you can't use them anyway.
You always have to take these, on Valve
dates
time
with a pinch of salt.
With a pinch of Valve time,
or a truckload of salt. Some people. So yeah.
A Reddit full of salt.
Yes. Well, maybe not that much.
Reddit wasn't too bad this week. I was reading through it. Everyone talks about Reddit being really super salty, but I struggle. I don't find it was
before CitizenCon.
It was
amazingly salty.
You think it's calmed down a little bit now, is it?
I don't think so. I think most of the salt has shifted to Spectrum, if I'm being honest. I think there's more salt in Spectrum these days, and I think it's actually enabled Reddit to become a little bit less salty and actually quite enjoyable. I enjoyed it before, but I still I continue to enjoy reading through it. I find it a fantastic reference of lots of people's ideas for Star Citizen, as much as Spectrum is. I enjoy it a lot. It's just harder, obviously, to get devs' feedback in Reddit. Spectrum tends to be more active, obviously, than in terms of responses and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So you've got a balance between the two, but I do find Spectrum quite hard to wade through. I find Reddit much easier.
One thing I don't like about it is how you can't have multiple tabs open actively at the same time, because if you open link in a new tab, it has to reload the entire backend all over again. But if you just click a link, it instantly opens. So it's meant to be operated in a single window, but just it's not how most people do things.
Yeah, and isn't Spectrum kind of copying it a bit? Hopefully they don't go and make it like that. They're copying some of the Reddit features, aren't they? But
yeah. I mean,
Like,
if he copies it too much, I'll just get lost.
I expect Spectrum to eventually, like Prisoner's saying, I think eventually Spectrum will be the platform, obviously.
I think it will.
It's already starting to show that.
Once you start getting, especially once orgs and that start becoming established, once we can actually do things with orgs as well, that'll start pulling people onto Spectrum.
And especially once they get chat and everything integrated in the game, that's going to be just the death of everything peripheral.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. It's going to be an odd, and I don't know how it will work with the sort of battle between Discord and Spectrum in terms of the voice thing. Because every MMO, every game I've played so far has used, even when I've had in-game chat, everybody still uses external chat sources. True. So I think Star Citizen's got a huge battle to try and overcome that if they want people to get everything integrated onto Spectrum, I think.
I think positional audio and all the filters they'll be able to apply to audio is what'll throw those people who are most about immersion towards Spectrum and away from Discord.
Well, we talked a little bit about it last week, and we was talking about Destiny and how their API app that they've got, where you can manage your inventory to a certain degree on the website. If Spectrum starts doing things like that, and I'm not on about to the same degree or the same level, but if it lets you have some control over your in-game interactions, that will definitely pull people onto Spectrum.
That's always been one of the things, a companion app
a few times.
Yeah. And I think that'll be just a function of Spectrum once it's out.
Wasn't it one of the ATVs that eventually they wanted an app to be able to, you can send things from station to station eventually anyways? They mentioned things like that as well once before? Future stuff.
Yeah, future stuff.
One of the ATVs.
I mean, they're trying to make you do everything yourself, so I don't know if you'll be able to just magically transfer stuff from station to station, because that would negate cargo running and stuff, but... potentially some stuff, maybe.
Maybe you might be able to just advertise jobs so that people will move stuff from station to station for you. That would make more sense rather than physically
having to actually start up the game and do the in-game interface just to create a job. Transfer this from Portal this out to Grimhex.
Yeah,
just do it via the app.
Exactly. That would make a lot more sense for me putting job postings up for people to do stuff for you, or to do contracts or bounty contracts, or to be able to do that type of paperwork side of things would be a lot easier.
I don't think we'll see that quite soon, though.
No, I think you don't know. You just don't know with CIG. They do seem things backwards sometimes.
And
so
Spectrum was obviously another team working on it, so there's a lot of that's being patched, and I think they've even got their own private Evocati Spectrum testers as well, running that to knock out new versions of it. So
they run sprints all over the place, and we didn't. Let's be honest. Did we realistically, if we were told about what they've shown us for procedural planets, we're going to be able to present to you a procedurally generated world as a city, and you're going to be able to fly through it and stuff, and we're going to do that in a year or whatever, and we're going to be able to show you a planet in less than a year or whatever. I would have just gone. Yeah, right.
Jog on, buddy. That's going to take you at least 3 years, surely. I mean, even not knowing anything about game development, I'm sure even people were going, no way. And then they just we smashed it, guys. So personally, I think they can do whatever they want to do, and they can do it.
And we'll just fuck, really?
Yeah, just be like, wow. But I mean, I agree with you. It would be logically, if you're following a path,
that would be at the end for sure, or nearer the end. Okay, good stuff.
So, right. So, I don't know where you want to start. We can have a look at...
We could go straight into the cargo thing that we've seen, or we can wait a little bit longer. Because we just saw this.
Fresh in the memory.
So fresh.
Well, we've literally just watched it and I forget everything else, so it's all good. Right, so...
You guys cool with it?
For those of you that haven't seen the Citizens of the Stars yet, which has literally just come out, the person highlighted was Olem Fella, or Falla, I think he spelled it F-A. Anyway, he was on my stream. I remember a year back or something, and he's actually one of the first people that I think donated to me, and I haven't seen him since. But anyway, he went to VerseCon, which was on at the same time as CitizenCon, and
was he not satisfied with his purchase?
Obviously not, so he buggered off somewhere else. So he went to VerseCon, and he was taking pictures of the attendees there, and if you haven't seen it, go and have a look. The pictures he's taken are really good. I think he basically says he does photography in real life, and he's kind of melding the two together. So, that was good. But the second half of the Citizens of the Stars was, instead of questions, well, they started off with questions, they went on to basically explaining and showing how cargo running is going to work. Now, this is very basic. It wasn't a massive amount of detail, but it does give you a good idea of how far they've come in the Evocati testing and how far the cargo running has actually been developed. Now, we're not going to get the full iteration of cargo running. You're not going to be going and picking your boxes up from certain places, but I'll get the first slide up.
Firstly, before I was going to say is what I love about this is, let's be honest, Citizens of the Stars has kind of been it's been good. I've enjoyed it, but they've kind of kept it low kept it kind of low of real sneaky bits and clever things. It tends to be more in ATV and the main shows, and then all of a sudden they kind of slam it in this huge chunk just to say, hey guys, you should be watching all of our content because we could put anything
anywhere, anytime.
Anywhere, at any time. So make sure you're watching everything, okay, guys? Because we're going to make sure you're on the ball.
We've now got you hooked.
Exactly. And I'm really happy they did it, because I think that that's what they should be doing. They should be keeping us on our toes. It's fun to do that, and I'm not going to tell you where I was. I was on the toilet when I was watching it, and I was like.
And you shat a brick.
And I was like, oh my God, that came out quicker than I expected. A bit like ATV this week. I was like, oh my God, ATV's out again on a Thursday in Europe, and we can enjoy this.
What is going on there?
It's
have they actually decided we're going to record it maybe 6 hours before normal, so we give the editing guys enough time to come out still on a Thursday.
Bricks were shot. Bricks were shot, indeed. I was very surprised. But no, I don't know. It's like, I think, do you know what it is? I think a part of me is that someone somewhere said, look, guys, we've got zero credibility in the bank with anyone with our time and delivering. We've been later and later and later with ATVs. You know, if there's one thing we probably could start to build a little bit of rep back again, would be if we actually delivered the ATVs at a sensible hour. So Europe could enjoy them and America could enjoy them all at the same time. It would actually go quite a long way, I think, to build a little bit of rep on their ability.
I have been waiting until like 3 or 4 in the morning just for that ATV.
I always get the spoilers the next day.
And gave up waiting because it was so late. So
yeah.
So I'm going to say to them, good job, guys. I'm glad you're delivering them on
quickly.
time.
I'd just like to say the question form is open. So if you do exclamation mark question in chat, you can start chucking us questions.
Yes,
I think there was something else, but I can't remember now.
So
I told you one thing goes in, one thing comes out. So we'll talk about this. So yeah, basically, what they started showing off with is a very basic on how cargo is going to work in 3.0. Obviously, we've been told that you'll be going into shops and buying cargo and carrying it and everything else, but it looks like they've kind of scrapped that a little bit to get a first iteration pass in there. And what they show is this is what we're showing now is the new terminals that we had on, was it ATV? They said that they've redeveloped these terminals because before the screens were these tiny little screens. Now, why they were going around making all these screens tiny, I don't know. This has been a big complaint from people for a long time when we just want nice big screens that you can see. Like, I mean, they could have whole walls as a screen, and why do they keep making these little tiny ones? I don't know. So these look definitely a lot more improved.
Could be just because of texture resolution. But now that they have rendered the texture, TVs. I know, but I'm just saying if you use textures of a certain size,
they say they did render the texture like as a big resolution, so it could be shrunk down into lots of different ones. I thought that's.
Yeah, but now they have rendered the texture and everything is generated on the fly. They can have it as big as they want and still have those vector clean textures.
The way I look at it is I think if they show us it. Like all the scale sizes, it's easy to go big, I think, and make things visible. It's much harder to have things small and still be manageable. So for me, if they do everything small and it kind of goes, that's just a little bit too small, they know, and then they could go a little bit higher, and so on. Sorry, I've got a massive phlegm. Hang on.
Is he from Belgium?
So why he's doing that? Yeah. So this, I'm not allowed to talk about it, but this is definitely a huge improvement from some of the stuff we've seen, and the interface looks nice and reasonably easy to use.
And as they showcase, there's going to be several different designs and styles depending on where you are.
Yeah, we've
different
got
colours and stuff. Yeah.
Later on in this mission, they get to Grim Hex, so we'll see the different.
Yeah, which they show the.
But can I just say something about why they just chose for it to be like buy and its pairs in your in the ship stuff?
Yeah,
because
go for it.
Yeah, it's similar to how they are doing the cockpits. Right now, as they are, you look at a cluster of buttons and have several options that show up. You press and nothing happens. Animation-wise, but ship turns on, engine turns on, and stuff like that. Now, the second stage is going to be every one of those buttons is going to animate itself, so it'll be in the on position, several stages, and then the last stage of that is going to be your character's hand is actually going to reach for the button and switch it and move it and whatever. So that's the same thing they're doing now. So first off, it's basically just the ability to move cargo from one point to the other, and then they're going to introduce how you actually obtain cargo, and then everything's going to be animated, like maybe even stuff being packaged into crates and then being presented to you, and then you grab the crate, take it to the ship and everything, maybe even automated loading and stuff like that. And
so you're going to have potentially some Ryanair guys throwing it.
Well, exactly. So I think
fragile
also,
written all over it. No.
What I think also this system does is it makes it so that it's easier for them to test the different part. They don't need to work. They're not wanting to test the whole. You grab your cargo and put it in the ship, because obviously your ship then has to register your cargo is on it and stuff. So what this system is doing is, because it's spawning your cargo directly onto the cargo bay, it now knows that ship has that piece of cargo in it. And I don't know if it's obvious on the screen because obviously it's a bit smaller than what you can see there. But what he's doing is he's logging into the terminal. On the left-hand side, he's picking where he wants, it's called delivery locations, which basically means he's picking what ship he wants the cargo to go onto. Once he picks the ship that he wants, it tells you how many cargo units that are available. And then on the right-hand side, then you've got filters to go through to see what sort of cargo you want to buy. Now, obviously the different elements of cargo have different icons, and then he gets to go through there, and then you pick which you want to buy, how much it will cost per unit, how much it will take up on your ship, and then at the moment, as soon as you click buy, that stuff will appear on your ship.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I wonder if it'll also work for a ship that you already spawned on a landing pad, and if somebody's there in the cargo bay, what will happen to the cargo? We'll just go,
yeah, because that's just what I was going to say. The other interesting thing is he actually did this and then went and spawned his ship rather than spawn the ship first. So it would be interesting to see whether you could, like you said, just land a ship and spawn it onto it. In fact, you can. Well, no, we don't know because in Grim Hex he kind of does it, but I think he chops about how he spawns the ship, so it's not 100% clear yet.
Yeah. So potentially, like in the very last iteration, the only ship that you'll be able to have your cargo delivered to would be the one that's actually landed at the location.
It's out, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because I think nothing's going to just magically appear in there. It's going to be you either have to load it yourself or you can pay for people to load it. So I agree.
If in what was it, Star Citizen 2, when they first got Area 18 out, and if you glitch yourself outside to where the constellation was, you could see like a few scripted NPCs just walking back and forth from a pile of boxes to the cargo area with boxes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here's a question. It's because I was looking at it. Did you guys already touch on this? Just in case I was 100% paid. Never happens, but just in case. Did you comment on the time that it was taking? Because you noticed when you had the little animation with the little, bricks dropping to indicate that obviously it was being moved.
Orders ready, yeah.
Orders ready, basically. Do you think, obviously, they will, the bigger the order and all the rest of it, that potential time will be greatly increased, depending on the size of your ship?
Yeah.
Because it was obviously instantaneously. And I think when you see it, when they go in, it's like one box. It's like, boom, done. So obviously, massive things. What would you say? What would you be willing to wait for to fill up your spaceship? You know what I mean? Potentially.
That's such a hard question because obviously it's the size of your cargo, the size of your ship.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And where you are. Like, I mean, you could have like a pristine high-tech port where they have cranes that just, automatically and quickly load up your ship. Or you could be at the dingiest, shitty spaceport ever. They have one drunk Welsh dude that just carries your stuff into your cargo area,
and then
one box at a time.
Yeah. So that's good. But this is because it raises an interesting thing, because obviously, if you've got a massive hull E or whatever, is it a hull E? Is the biggest one? Is that the one?
Hull E.
Yes. So you got the hull E, for example, and you want to fill up the whole ship to transport. You're not going to, if you're talking about, say that back end dodgy dealing kind of place or wherever, where there's only one dude with his robot, you're not going to park there because it's going to take you God knows how many hours to potentially load the ship. You're going to go to the main trade hubs because you're going to go to the more advanced machines that are going to load up fairly quickly, because time at the end of the day is money.
However, that might give you more money for your product.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay more fees at the higher tech place. So where do you draw the balance?
Well, this is it. That was going to be my next thing. They
hire some AI.
That next level complication.
Drunken Welsh guy is very specific.
Very, very.
You had Drunken Welsh guy load up your van at some point.
But yeah, but then like I was thinking, but then potentially, do you think it would be a case of like, depending on what type of ship you have, will determine not just cost but the type of service you receive? So say you've got just a Titan Avenger, you're only going to get like maybe one robot and a person or whatever to load the ship. You're not going to have a fully automatic big arm that's going to load it up for you. It's just not feasible for them to do it. So that there will be you can increase the speed only to a certain level with that type of ship. Do you know what I mean? There'll be
I think as like Hero says, if you got something like a whole E, you're not even going to do that with just cranes. You're going to have cargo argos. You're going to have like fleets almost loading that thing up. It's so big.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if it can even be done in gravity, or would it have to be done at an orbital station in zero gravity and then transported to the planet's surface via other means? Because the whole E is fucking huge.
It is. It's massive.
I mean, that sort of thing. You imagine it could even potentially you order it and then you have to wait like a day for it. I mean, could they prepare the boxes outside in space and load them up and then you come in? I don't know.
Wow.
Well, maybe you'll have to have Amazon Prime for next day delivery.
Express delivery.
Subscribe to the docking
M50
station.
towing it really fast.
Yeah, I mean, it could potentially be that you have that ship parked and then you go and do other stuff and come back later when it's fully loaded up. It could be a really. I mean, that is so huge, that ship, that I can't imagine how long. If you have
could be the use of the Argo cargoes
all the time.
Right.
Get out the crates, taking it back and forth.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you imagine? That would be just like. I mean, we all.
That would take a long time.
We all like Star Trek and we all like science fiction, so it would. I could imagine like flying in my spaceship. This is where my imagination goes. Like, and I'm sure we're all the same. You fly in your spaceship. You're going up to like either a truck stop or one huge port that's in space, floating in space, big spaceport, and you're seeing all these different types of size ships. And one of them is obviously the whole E. Just kind of is like getting loaded, and all these Argo things and bustle around it, and it's getting it's semi-loaded. It's getting ready to go. One maybe another different whole seas arriving with cargo, another one's leaving, and there's like all this crazy shit. I mean, that for me, just like it just sends like the hairs just kind of start to rise on the back of my neck when I think about the visual of that happening. And I don't think it's that unfeasible either. That's the crazy thing. I'm like, oh my god, they can do it. They can do it.
And it would take a while. Because I don't know if any of you guys have been to an actual port on Earth, well, where else would you go? No, on Mars.
No, but I've
say
been to
on
one
Mars.
on Jupiter, but,
Yeah, no, but like a port and seeing a cargo ship get loaded or unloaded, it takes days.
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, but then again, they only have like a maximum of 1 or 2 cranes at a time that could do one container at a time. Or possibly 2, depending on the size, if they stack them properly. But it still takes days. A hull E could potentially be loaded quicker because if it's in orbit and you can approach it from any sort of direction, it's not just going to be from one point. Like with the crane, it's still going to take a long time, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean,
especially because they won't, sacrifice all the resources of the port just for one ship. There's going to be lots of other ships, and they have finite resources, maybe just 1 or 2 Argos at a time. And it's going to take days.
I think that's a good point, because there may well be that if you've got a whole E, you're not going to be docking at these like truck stop type of places. They're too small. They're just not going to have that amount of cargo for you to get. So you're going to have to go to some massive, gigantic station that can actually have the ability to load your, like I said, rather than clogging up a whole port. It would have to have a big enough port to accept that sort of cargo. But I do also think that no one's going to want to literally just sit there for a full 24 hours as your thing loads up. So there probably will be some form of way of ordering it in advance. Like we were talking about with the mobile apps tying into the game. Like if you're at work and you could order your cargo to be readied, I don't know, even if it's just the sake of like maybe putting it in crates and getting it ready on a landing pad or something there. So you can order it in like an advance, and when you get there, you can pick it up, and then it will take less time to load.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing is, with this, I don't believe you will be as much in charge of the missions as you can pick as much, because with a hull E, you would want to optimize your travel routes as much as possible. So you would go from one major port to another major port, and
worth it.
Yeah, to make it worth your time and money. So you would load up all the cargo that's going from one specific port to another specific port, and that's also going to potentially take time for all of those missions to come through for you to completely load your ship. That is something that they haven't even discussed yet, because right now it's all individual missions, like a single crate that you can buy for yourself, put it in your ship and then go. Or maybe if a mission tells you, go to that specific location, get a crate and bring it to that specific location.
So why don't we see the next, let's watch the next little bit and then we can carry on.
So I've just been showing the where you obviously see it in the ship. I'll just show it again briefly.
Because there was actually there was another thing I was going to talk about. I'll talk about it later, but it was just to do with the NPCs. So I'm just going to raise it, the fact that we saw NPCs in Olisar for the first time.
Have you not seen that in other things?
people moving around, doing things, looking like they're actually walking towards you.
Games I can't remember. So I'm trying not to say so.
You guys. This is the problem. It's a bit of a mix. For me, I'm the person that I'm not part of Viva Carti, so I don't get to see, unfortunately, all of that wonderfulness that these guys are already like. Oh yeah, I've already seen that madness. It's really cool. I'm like, fuck you! I haven't seen it.
No, I know that's something.
I didn't go to games. I didn't go to Citizen Con.
Yeah, I mean,
no, it wasn't it?
Citizen Con they had it, but it was
like
hardcore, I suppose, it wasn't Olisar. So
all these lucky sods who went to see. You've already seen all this gravy stuff. We've had tours and fucking seen so much shit.
I haven't had a single tour though.
Well, this one underneath. Well, one to my bio has. He's had two. Miz, you've had a tour, haven't you?
I've had one. Yeah.
He's had.
Yeah, I've done the UK and I've done. Now. So.
You've got well, to be fair, we've all actually done pretty well at CG. You've got a Ryzen and I've got an Aquila, so I can't complain too much. I did get something out of it, but I didn't get it for sitting in a chair. That's for sure.
Yeah, so this is just the next one along, where basically he's ordered the cargo, and as you can see, we're not going to get like individual lumps of just rock sitting in the back of your ship. I think everything. I think that's probably how it's going to stay. Just being everything's going to be a crate size. Rather than sort of individual
if
things.
Nothing else for safety.
Yeah. Imagine like your pickaxe just flying across the
across
the back of the ship.
I like the symbols that they talked about. You can see what the contain the boxes. From the symbol, so that you know that that's a metal. And
so
then
it's
the other one,
different colours and different symbols for the different things.
I'm wondering maybe they'll do like a Star Kitten one for like cute fluffy toys or something, and then maybe they'll do. Can you imagine the sex one?
Or kitten flesh?
The adult XXX. The
just staple a kitten to the top.
Yeah, exactly. That would be quite funny.
What's in the box? Will it staple on top?
You're going to be a trader then, man. It's an exotic toys. So
I'm thinking, you could have a little bit S&M kind of box, the S&M box. You could have like for the privileged.
Vibrate the verse.
The 600 eyes going to have very special boxes on that one. That's for sure. I like that. I think that it makes a lot of sense. You are going to want to be able to see what the boxes are at a glance,
right? And they're coming in much bigger sizes. So some of them it's not going to be basically just like a 1 by 1 by 1 little box that is a container. There's going to be pallets with tarps and straps over for like big components and stuff like that. But not in the first version. I think they said for the first version they just want to focus on just 1 by 1 meter Minecraft style, basically.
Skipping through the video because it was last minute. We kind of clipped a few things, but it's easier just to go for it because it was like about a 6-minute long feature in the end, so it was easier to kind of just go through it.
I like the yellow and.
Yes,
I'm just going to comment on the styling.
Do you want me to show that off?
I really like the yellow, the way that the loading and they had that the little kind of the herringbone.
When they summon the ship, you mean?
Yeah, I really like that. It was like a nice addition.
This is the new ship.
This is pretty cool
interface basically, and it also shows you on here. I don't know if this is actually working or not. Let me see if I can get to where he got to his ship. There's actually cargo, crew. I don't think it is actually. Tells you how many crew, how much cargo it's got. That sort of thing. So if you have something loaded and it gets taken away, we see him add cargo when it wasn't there. So I'm presuming that the whole thing gets taken and its cargo will persist inside that ship if it gets put away into the hangar, which is quite good.
Persistence, that was the big...
item persistence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also got
there you go. So you also see your ship as usual. You get this lovely... Please wait.
So I was looking at the track thing. So you got retrieve, track, and claim. So I was curious, like the track one. I'm guessing you click that to indicate, and it'll give you the tracking, so you know where your ship is, and you can go to it. That would be what.
That from the fleet manager.
That would be my. That would be. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it possibly just adds a waypoint to your HUD.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because at the moment, it's done automatically. You spawn the ship, and then instantly it tells you, "Oh, look, there's my ship." Yeah. It's on that. But I'm curious if that. I was thinking, why would you even have?
I might just tell the position where it is. So, so the part of the thing is, don't forget that you can. There's potential that you can have a ship left on Levski. You can have a ship left on anywhere there's a landing pad, basically.
So you need to know where
it will just tell you where your ship is.
Right, but why isn't that in the mobiGlas? It'd be it would make much more sense to.
Do we have ship management in the mobiGlas at the moment, though?
Well, not in 2.6, no.
Yeah, and we haven't. I don't think it's in anything that we've seen in 3.0.
I can't say anything. NDA.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that will go in your mobiGlas because they've already said they're working on your inventory, and so obviously your cargo that you have is going to be part of the inventory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to... So there, you've just seen that we're going to put in the box in. So this is a little... If you haven't seen it, I don't know if you have or not at the moment, but they go onto the navigation screen, so you can have a little look at that.
I'm gonna add something as well. You know, Ben, just going back a little bit to what we were talking in terms of the symbols on the boxes indicating what they are. This is something you probably haven't... I mean, you might have thought about, but let's just say I'm wanting to do a dodgy deal with somebody in space. I've got some illegal goods on board my ship, or let's just say you're a pirate. And you've boarded my ship.
Mm-hmm. We're all standing there with our guns down, handcuffed, whatever, and you're looking at the goods on board the ship. You're going to be able to scan around at least initially and be able to see, just from going up to them, what's of value and what's not of value. And that's why I was like very pleased that they've added that. That was what I was going to say as well. I think that's a very good thing to add.
But I would want to put all my diamonds in the Star Kitten label.
But that was. I'm glad you raised that because that was going to be
Star Kitten box. So it doesn't matter.
Can you hide? That comes to the whole smuggling thing. I think we've got a section on smuggling which we'll talk about maybe now. We can talk about it now if you want. And that was going to be my next thing. Was going to be like, do you think potentially going forward you'll be able to hide goods in incorrect boxes?
Businessman, thank you very much.
To be able to hide stuff because that would make sense.
I think so. This still depends a little bit on whether they ever let us open and close these cases ourselves, or some form of management to these cases. Like at the moment they've got icons on, but I imagine if you didn't want them to have icons on, then there must be some sort of gameplay where you can change that. Because you don't want to advertise for some person that walks on your ship what everything is. Yeah. And this also adds the fact that earlier we was talking about smuggling and how you might have a secret compartment within your ship to do such a thing. But if you've got, the ships we're seeing a bit small now, but a large ship that can take cargo, if you had to, you could easily just use that as a way of stashing illegal goods, because you would have to search every box to find out what's in it.
Which is what, yeah.
There's going to be scanning, though.
There will be scanners, yeah. I mean, that'll be the...
Like ship-based scanners that will be able to scan your entire cargo.
An anti-scan thing on the cases.
And that's the second step, like prevention, and then going to be anti-scanning prevention workarounds, and
But then you just board you and shoot that out and then scan.
Yeah,
but I think that you'll come to a balance at some point where the technology kind of like, you've hit you have the best gear and you have the best defenses, and it'll be the question of whether or not Chris Roberts wants the attackers to have the advantage or the defenders to have the advantage.
It could well be just like the real world in terms of
for a few months, and then they'll bring out a new pack.
That's what I was just going to say. Like you have military push different things forward, so technology forward. So that could easily be an integration into the game that companies keep developing stuff and like one-upping each other to make one thing better than the other. And every time someone works out, what you've done, or works out the technology, they can then beat it. And then the other companies got to say, well, the smugglers have got an advantage for a little while. Then the police come up and they start catching more smugglers. Yeah, it make a really interesting sort of flow for industry to develop. They just need to
space it out more and not have it be so that everyone can obtain the new technology on day one, because then they would need the next day they would need to come out with the technology to counteract it, and then the next day and the next day and the next day. So that's going to be far too quick.
No,
I don't think
it's pretty cool. Fast, it's pretty cool.
Need some grind.
For anyone that's watching the stream, just a note: if you can't see the whole show, don't worry. This does get uploaded to YouTube the next day, so don't worry about that. You can still catch it.
Don't worry. If you don't follow Miz on YouTube, if you follow Miz on YouTube, it will be up tomorrow, or myself, it'll be up on YouTube. So it will be up tomorrow. Do not fret.
Tomorrow, always tomorrow. So if you have to go, I understand.
but thank you for coming. I was going to say as well, actually, do you know what? In terms of actual gameplay for extra players on board a ship, so let's just say you're on a bigger ship and you were scanning a bigger
Polaris.
ship, Polaris scanning, say, a whole E or whatever, and you're wanting to attack it. You're just wanting to scan it because you're playing security and you want to make sure that it's not illegal goods on board the ship. It'd be kind of cool for the person to have, on board the ship to actually have a fun job with scanning, to be able to have to detect, and it would be cool on the vice versa on the other ship. They're fighting each other, so it's like a PvP mini game between them to try and hide the goods from each other and to see whose skill is better at hiding.
If you've got a big enough ship, you could do like like a circle around the ship, like a cool thing where the scanner's there and you all hide in the box and you just keep following behind him so he doesn't actually catch the box that's got the illegal goods. It's fine. Have I accounted for all the boxes? Yeah, it's all good.
And
I think we're maybe getting a bit too far, but maybe a
little bit. But I just think I'm all for trying to create gameplay for the people that are sitting next to the pilot. You know what I mean? Because we've all experienced the gameplay at the moment, and I'm always very aware of how shit it is for the people realistically on board the spaceship. And it's the same thing. Like, I always my biggest example of like boring gameplay is when you go around your mate's house and he says, "Guess what? I've got the latest computer game," and you sit there for fucking 5 hours and you're watching him play a fucking computer game, and you're just like, "Oh my god, I could have just gone home and done something else." But
we used to do that when we were kids,
Yeah, it was good fun.
No, it fucking sucked ass for you. For me, when I was watching, obviously when it was my game, it was fine. You could sit there all day long. But that's my point. But I recognize how boring it was, and I just and I'm sure this is the same thing at the moment in 2.6. It's boring.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because it's all about
they've already said they've already said the whole scanning system will be. Like in many ATVs, they've already said that will be something that if that's something you want to do, you have to really kind of practice at it and kind of get good at it, because it's going to be all different intense, different levels of scanning.
You know what would be a cool scanning mechanic like this? Maybe this like golf swing type.
Yay! The community loves the golf swing.
that went down really well when they showed that. Really well.
We're bringing it back, guys.
Do you think we're going to get mini games in it, or do you think everybody's so pissed off with that sort of thing that they won't do it? They complain too much.
I think that was just too oversimplified.
I think.
Then again, it was the first thing, and we were talking about how simple the cargo, the first iteration of the cargo is.
Yeah,
so
it's like people don't give it a chance though. They were all over that before it even gone anywhere, and then they moan that we don't get shown stuff, and this is partly why we don't get shown stuff, because it's like this is a first iteration, guys. This is us testing something. I hate it. What the hell have you done to my game? I quit. Yeah, it's like balance.
I'm not Tiger Woods. Don't want to practice my golf swing.
I think I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I saw the cargo and I saw the whole bit, we're going to see a bit later as well. But
pretty amazing.
Once I saw the whole thing of it, it was really great to see it, and I was like, that's so clean and simple and a good base to build on. I can't see any real. Obviously there's going to be bugs. There's always bugs, but that's great. That's a good building block. Fantastic. Well done, CIG. That looks really clean and simple. Well thought out.
Someone clip this. Madness is not being salty.
I know. This is crazy.
I'm impressed.
They've
done
guys, he is
guys.
ill. So probably next podcast, he's probably going to be better.
The drugs are getting to the head. That's it.
All of his salt is being ejected by the phlegm because he has to walk away and spit it out every once in a while.
It's all left me. But no, I don't know about you guys. Sure, someone else might. It'll be quite funny. People who are really excited about cargo and the real Care Bears go, I fucking hate it, man. This is terrible. It's the worst thing ever.
Someone cares about that side of things. Yeah,
I know, exactly. Like, what are you talking about? Like when they talk about fighting, it's just always the other shoe. But no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Apparently, you're doing pepper now.
Oh yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
You're doing pepper.
Right.
Oh, I thought he meant Pepper the pig.
Oh, you mean pepper as in like? Oh, okay, sorry.
The
I see what you mean.
salt,
Pepper as in
or the
salt
accompaniment.
Okay,
I think it's not the opposite to salt, though, is it? Really, it's an accompaniment to salt. So
Yes, yeah.
I'm not sure if pepper's just as bad as salt, really.
Too much pepper is pretty bad.
A sub-menu simulator. Yeah.
Bipolar tendencies. Yeah, people have been saying I have bipolar tendencies. I've been diagnosed through Twitch as bipolar.
See,
You don't need a
experts,
doctor. Ask Twitch today.
That's it.
Is Twitch the new WebDM or something?
Clearly,
WebMD, yeah.
I'll start flopping things out on screen. I got a rash on this at the moment. Has anyone got any suggestions?
Yeah, it looks a bit
I'll be the new
benign.
doctor channel on Twitch. Can you imagine? Oh my god! Right, moving on.
Right, so moving on that lovely note. So we've kind of seen the orbital map in game, but in case you've missed it a little bit, this is, I presume, where they're currently up to on it. So this is they've already got the one set of cargo, and what he was talking about was now going to a wreck to go and find another source of cargo. So they're saying that not only are you going to be able to order cargo from these terminals, you're going to be able to go to the moons, find wrecks, and also gather cargo that way as well. So this will actually be an element of picking cargo up and putting it on your ship rather than it automatically appearing there. So it does show you that they've got that working as well. So yeah, if you haven't seen the star map, this is it. So this is how you, I don't know how much I can say. This is how they're setting a destination. There you go. So you see, brought up the Moby Glass, picked Yellow as a destination, and selected it as a destination.
I think you guys at NDA, whatever they've shown us on TV, that's broken their NDA, so you can talk about it as far as I'm aware.
I know, but I'm trying to, but without.
But they also showed that at CitizenCon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the beautiful jump from the Cutlass. Yeah. So we're seeing the new quantum animations in effect and the particle effects at the end. Look amazing.
Yes.
Really
GPU
nice.
Particles for the win.
Oh my god! I got to say, it looks so orgasmic. Doesn't it look gorgeous?
So much better.
Oh.
So he said on this,
to be running at 60 frames per second.
About to say the speed. He did say this was done fast to get it there quicker because it takes a while. So they just sped it up a bit.
It's so good. Is that snow? Yes, it's snow.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Deadpool said. I'm just gonna roll around in that snow and get really high.
At least in 3.0 onwards, we'll be able to plan to read chat, so we can just warp somewhere, then read chat, then do what we're doing, then catch up with chat. We have enough time.
Yeah. Why not?
So what's nice with this clip as well is this wasn't a set destination either. He knew where it was on the planet.
I think he's done it so many times. He knows exactly.
I'm sure he
where
has.
to
But
go.
this is what I mean. Is just you're going to be able to, or we're all going to be able to find wrecks like this by literally flying over, seeing it, and going, there's just landing at these random wrecks, which I think is going to be really.
I think that's going to be a bit more difficult than that, considering how large everything is and how small the ships are compared to the size of the planets.
Well, there's a good clip that we've got a bit later when we talk about the procedural cities, and they put ArcCorp on Yella, and I mean, you consider the size of the ArcCorp that they were showing off, and then how small an area on Yella that took up. Finding a wreck will be definitely a job.
Difficult. And there's obviously still that hidden wreck that they haven't spoken about. They mentioned it, but no one knows.
They must have spoken about it, otherwise you wouldn't know there was a hidden wreck.
You know what I mean.
It can apparently be seen from space.
Yes.
Do you know what? For a second,
it is that big, though.
I thought on that ship when it was landing, I thought for a second it looked like it still had the footprints of when they'd previously maybe gone to it and walked over it, but I don't think that's the case. Sorry, I wasn't getting a bit excited. I was getting a little bit excited then. I was getting a little bit excited about footprints. I was thinking they got persistent footprints, but then I was like, no, it's just rocks. It's just scattering.
You'll find out when they get out. Look, see, there's.
I got excited for a second.
Just another show off of the inner thought system, which we've all seen at Gamescom and stuff. So they look into the right hand side so he can exit the seat. No NDA is broken here. So this is the inside of the new Cutlass as well.
The Cutlass looks
see the new beds.
Awesome.
Something that I noticed though, the side doors don't appear to be occluding exterior light.
Yeah, because he was standing and it kind of shone in one way.
The sun was shining in through the closed doors.
Didn't they talk?
There is a window
Didn't
there.
they say that on one of the bugs? Didn't they say that was one of the occlusion? I'm sure one of the guys was talking about occlusion, the lighting and stuff. I don't know if he was specifically referring to the Cutlass, but he was talking about doors, and one of the things that they've been looking at and fixing is to do with that type of thing. So maybe they're aware of it and they're fixing.
But, I mean, there is a window, but that light thing does not correlate with the window.
The entire door aperture, and I don't think the back door had that problem.
No, the back of the ship is actually dark. Yeah. And the other thing this clip shows here, which is really good, is that the cargo was fixed to a point, so where they've put it within that yellow boundary, it has actually locked to the floor. It hasn't bounced all over the place like just about everything else that goes in the back of a ship. So we have got some persistence there, which is really cool.
That would probably have to have another step done, because all the cargo bays in ships have these magnetic floors.
Yeah.
So you'd probably have to turn it off, place the cargo, and turn it back on.
As
Otherwise,
you pull it up.
I will be playing Fort in the back of my Cutlass. To put it this way, I will be playing Fort.
You'll try.
I'll be building up, and I will be strategically trying to figure out positions of things. Maybe if I can, if someone was trying to board my ship, okay, so what would be a good angle? Okay, shit, I'm fucked. They're going to come in from either the left or the right doors, and potentially the back doors. Pretty much.
So build your own cover.
Then just somebody comes on your ship to find you. Where's Mazda?
Secret passage. It probably picks one of those ways, picks the box up,
crawling out,
crawls in.
Just don't make it out of crates full of explosives.
Are you in your fort again? No.
You laugh at that, but it's a good way to smuggle a person, because you can build the cargo around them and let them sit inside the chamber.
And
shouldn't be giving my secrets away, should I really? But yeah.
Fully leaded.
Confirmed. This is going to smuggle people.
And then when you got the magnet thing on, like you said, you won't be able to move it, so they'll be trapped in there as well.
Hopefully they don't have a belt.
If you haven't got a bounty hunting ship and you want to do bounty hunting, as long as you've got cargo, you can stick them under the cargo box and just seal them in and go, there you go.
It's like Mjolnir's hammer. Just put it on a person and just stuck to the floor.
Can you game down for a second? Drop the box on.
But you could create a maze. So when people imagine a pirate getting on board your ship, then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh fuck, we're in a maze."
And then all of a sudden taking the crates, mate. They won't be worried about the maze. They'll be just taking your crates out, won't they?
Lock them down.
Not if they're locked. Not if they're locked to the cargo floor.
How long would that take? Hang on a minute, right, pirate. Hang on, we're gonna board this in about 20 minutes, lads. When we get this shifted, see you again.
They might quite enjoy it.
Or just if you do make a maze, just make it so it always loops back to where they started.
Yes, exactly.
They think they're getting deeper into the ship, and it just keeps coming back to the cargo door. It's like, bugger it.
Do you know, it would make a fantastic fail video. Like, you could have like a camera, you could be like live streaming. You built this, you could leave it there deliberately parked on like a planet or something to watch idiot people come in and to see them get really confused as they're trying to like figure out how to rob your ship and getting stuck in the maze. That would be brilliant, honestly. I'm such a child.
Nice. So Darj makes a good point in terms of the magnetic floor and how that kind of works. I wonder if you turned the power off at the front of the ship to the whole ship, then that would probably release it. But I do
probably
agree,
not in it yet.
Yeah, what it probably does need is a button on the wall as well, so you can control it from there as well, I think. So yeah.
Well, now with the new user interface appearing to be quite good, I'm quite happy to put buttons on the walls.
Extra buttons, yeah.
Okay, that seems that they can do that now, because before the use button was so shit, I would have been terrified.
You end up sitting in the seat, the Cutlass. That was so annoying.
Going up and down the stairs.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Come on! I just want to open the door.
So,
the new Cutlass does seem to solve that conundrum quite.
Does, yeah.
So good. The Cutlass looks. I am so happy that I have a Cutlass.
I don't.
I'm so happy.
I also don't think I'll be getting one in the anniversary sale.
Thinking, 3.0. I'll technically have 3.
We will be getting to the anniversary sale, and we will be discussing all the ships.
This is quite a poignant thing. This clip here as well is the new Cutlass is going to a wrecked Freelancer.
Freelancer, I know.
Freelancer is no longer viable with a beautiful Cutlass that's bigger and better.
There's like real subliminal messaging going on there, like a brick. It's like, buy a Cutlass because it's so much better than a shitty Freelancer.
No wrecked.
It is one of their favorite ships at CAG.
What, the Cutlass?
What, the Cutlass?
The Cutlass, yeah.
Yeah.
What I also liked with this clip as well is the guy from the UK office who was running around. Like, he's supposed to be just showing off the cargo, and he literally just stops and goes, "Look how pretty it is! Look how damn pretty it is! Oh, it's amazing!"
That is amazing.
Exactly
isn't it?
your thought when you get there. It's like,
and it was,
and it's
was.
Nice
the sky is so amazing with Crusader, just hanging there, and the ring. Oh my god, the ring looks so good from the surface of the Earth.
For me, I'll end up forgetting about what I'm doing and just go up to that ring and just like exploring it. Oh, yeah, I had to go do that crate. Just...
Nope, mission expired. God damn it.
That's normally something that Mandus would come out with. Don't you start.
He's concentrating.
Look, I already clocked the ring comment. I was well on the ring. I was already all over the ring. I was just like, I was waiting.
Was he clipping that?
I was just like, no, I was just
probably, yeah. He also
probably was slipping it.
I was like, the ring.
No,
I thought
confirmed,
this is a new, more matured dictator. We want to rise.
Should you tell everybody that?
The fuck it is.
So yeah, I mean, it does look stunning. I mean, we got it on crappy, low rendered Giphy graphics, but it does look amazing, and the wrecks look really nice as well.
I mean,
they're more than just reskinned normal ships. They're like completely broken up and remodeled.
They're fantastic. I mean, there's nothing better than looking at a wrecked Freelancer, is all I'm saying. That's for sure.
I presume you do not own a Freelancer.
I used to.
I've never. Do you know what? I saw the advert for the. I mean, I'm like a lot of people here. I saw the advert for the Freelancer, and I was like, "Wow,
that's what sold me. That's my ship. That's what I thought.
That's the ship that I want to get." And then I was like, got into the game. I didn't buy it because it was a lot of money, and I just got into the game. And then I was chatting to people, and I was learning, and then I decided I wanted to go dogfighting. And then within a few seconds of killing my first Freelancer very easily, I realized it was nothing like the advert, and it was a pile of shit.
Yeah, it's not exactly a Ford pickup truck.
No, it wasn't great. So
more of a van.
Yeah, but the Cutlass, and I bought
I'm still waiting for my turrets to just press a button and instantly go and blow up 2 Cutlasses, but it don't do that yet.
I bought Cutlass.
Broadsiding needs to be in game. Just more.
I agree.
More.
Instead of just head-on dogfighting, having actually side-to-side combat, that would be cool.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
No, because you got me thinking. Because then you talked about dogfighting, and it's like I do dogfighting. So I was just thinking about in terms of. I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. All right, I'm thinking how that's going to work in terms of side combat. I am 100% on board with that.
More broadside.
And backside.
More broads.
There needs to be more back. There's a lot of the ships are very vulnerable in the ass. Is all I'm saying.
While he's exploring the ring, etc.
I'm constantly exploring Freelancers' rings, Starfarers' rings, and all that stuff. No, genuinely, they're all very vulnerable to a rear attack.
Well, most combat vessels are, especially a tank as well.
I'm loving the analogies here. They're just fantastic. You could seriously take most ships very viciously from behind. Is all I'm saying.
The guest command is correct. Darjanator doesn't have a Twitch channel, but he appears on Fortnightly Frontier with Maya. So if you give Maya a follow, you can see the wonderful Darjanator on there every fortnight. So
yes, absolutely. Give Darj a follow.
Otherwise, I'm on just about every podcast out there.
Yeah, or follow every podcast, and you can find him there. He loves it. Doesn't own the game. Hates Star Citizen, but he just loves being on podcasts.
Just loves getting drunk, talking about stuff.
It's literally only the alcohol. The alcohol is the driving force behind my Star Citizen fanboyism.
He doesn't want to drink alone, so it's like one of the fine podcasts is drinking.
I'm a social drinker. What can I say?
He wakes up and doesn't remember anything that was happened. It's always just like.
Right, so it's every time that I go on a different podcast and we talk about the same thing, it's a new adventure for me because I don't remember the last time.
He doesn't remember the last time.
That's exactly it. Where was I? Oh, but broadsiding, yes, 100%. Taking it in the rear, not for me, but for other people, that's fine. What was the other thing we were saying?
Oh my god.
Cargo.
I lost train of thought. I just lost it.
Anyway, so this is showing that they basically come down to the wreck, and you can see here already there's 2 different crates of cargo, and as Madis was kind of saying earlier, that because the icon and the look of it is different, you can identify straight away that it's a different cargo. So they know now that this one is a gas cargo. So he's picked that one up just to have a difference. I think the other one's got the same material as like metals and alloys. So
I think it's more. The icon is more indicative of ores rather than just pure metals.
Yeah, mine stuff and that, I suppose. But he also said you can't run with the box because it's too heavy and cumbersome. So, or not run as fast because they were running quite fast there.
Yeah,
they were. Like
it was a bit of a jog on the way back.
Just over the heads, like
it's just cash. It's very. I mean, I would struggle to lift that box up and do a jog.
Well, considering it, okay, let's say if it was metal and it was maybe iron that was in it, and it's like 1 by 1 cubic meter of iron, but let's say it's not completely full, it's like half a cubic meter of iron. Okay. That is 500 kilos. That guy is strong.
Yeah,
I guess you weigh up no atmosphere or like less atmosphere, it could be really light because it's
gravity,
no gravity, so it's like poof, just lift it up, easy peasy. You know, that could be. I mean, that would be my only count. You know, and then whereas he couldn't. I'd be interested. Yeah, exactly. Whereas then that same box on a planet,
or inside a ship where the gravity is 1.0,
or on a planet where the gravity is quadrupled, like a Jupiter, but like a huge planet where the gravity should be
Polaris to pick it
5 times the amount or 10 times the amount. You know, a normal box would be that's where it gets really complicated and really interesting for the game in terms of, you know, you could arrive at a salvaged ship on a planet which has got 10 times the amount of gravity, or you could if you're a salvage person in particular, that's your profession, you know what planets are the best ones to salvage in terms of time because you've done it and you've gone, I've been to this type of planet, this planet's giving me times 10 reading because you can scan it. I know that if I find any cargo in here, I'm going to need to take on the Argo. I can't go down manually. I'm going to have to find the Argo,
which is
or the Titan suit.
That's where
or the heavy armor with the increased
or something with the
exosuit,
grab plate. No, with the attractor beam.
Yeah, or the tractor exactly. And then that then creates that skill based game that we're talking about. This constantly this. I'm always about for this game when Chris Wood talks about a skill-based game, that's what I envision. It envisions experience creates your level of skill. You know what I mean? You have to play it. You can't just get into the game instantaneously and know what you're doing. You have to have the experience and the practice and learn it, and that's where it comes from. So yeah, that's
which is also one of the reasons why just buying a ship will not make you win the game.
No, exactly. That's exactly it. That's 100%. 100%. That's why I like the idea of the skill base and being more and more important in the game. So yeah, and that's why when we saw this today, the cargo thing, it's like, oh my god, this just blows out another 1,000 hours of people doing.
The funniest thing I said the other day was when I was playing the game was an beating a saber because the skill was different. Because the person's practiced with the Aurora and knows how to fly now to pilot with this saber. The person in the saber was just brand new to the game, and he raged because he said, "How can you beat me in that such a cheap ship?"
Oh yeah.
It's like Batman versus Superman. Superman relies on his superior strength and the abilities, but he has no skill. He has no talent. Batman is a guy, and he's proficient in all sorts of martial arts, and they can go, head to head, toe to toe.
True, that's true. I'm quite happy to talk about super. I mean, like, I'll be interested to know if you put Spider-Man in the situation, who do you think would win?
The guy with the more money.
Deadpool.
Deadpool, or so you mean Spider-Man versus Deadpool, not Superman versus Batman?
No. If Spider-Man, if we had a four-way and you had Superman, Spider-Man, Deadpool, and if you had the four-way, like a bit of Marvel versus. Who do you think would come out top of that?
That's a good question. Spider-Man, I think, would get squished quite quickly by Superman because he'd especially in current cinematic universe because he's not experienced and he would be underestimating everybody. Especially.
But you know what they say though, like he's got no fear because he's young, he's not expecting anything. He's
very squishable.
He's learned pretty quickly. He's quite adaptable. He's got a lot of spunk. I mean, you know, he's yeah,
the jizz jokes just keep on coming, don't they?
I love throwing these in there. And then you've got obviously, I think Deadpool personally for me would have a laugh. He would probably be on the end of probably Superman Spike having a bit of a joke with him, probably or something. He'd have his head ripped off. He'd probably be laying down some sarcastic comments. And then maybe it would probably end up coming back to Batman and Superman again.
Yeah, I think Batman would win.
You think Batman? You going for Batman? Dirty. Bring out the
because he has a plan for everything, doesn't he?
Still talking about Batman and Superman,
and he's just quite happy to just bury them alive.
Yeah.
Batman doesn't give a shit.
It's crashed.
What's crashed?
Network error.
No, just refresh. It's just you.
Oh,
it's fine for me.
It's
we
just
can
Twitch
still see you.
It's just Twitch and you and your browser. Just refresh.
Is it? It's just gone down. Oh, okay. Thank God.
How unprofessional, though.
Woo! I'm sorry. I saw network error and I was just like, oh my God.
Anyway, which Batman are we talking? Are we talking the Nolan Batman or are we talking Batfleck?
Well, that's a good question. There is a lot of Batmans. I think we will have to do another podcast, Taj. We'll have a discussion. I'm a big comic person myself, so we will do another podcast. We will bring this.
Because I would say that Batfleck has much less of a problem with killing people, and Nolan Batman is very, very
Batfleck.
Just. But we should maybe
we'll save it.
Have this discussion.
He's trying to join in the conversation. Then he was like, Batman.
Who is this Batman?
Who is this Batman?
Batfleck, yeah.
Batfink.
Yeah, just flick Batman in his doubt. Boom. Right.
Okay, sorry.
We're maybe going back to Star Citizen.
Back to Star Citizen. We lost like 20 viewers. We were talking about Batman. This is not the podcast that we came on expecting to watch.
I didn't realise this is addicted to comics.
This is talking about comics. What is going on?
But okay, maybe like a tie-in with Star Citizen. Will there be like a specific comic in Star Citizen lore?
I'd like them. I would love there to be. I'd like there to be multiple comics. To be honest.
I don't know if any of you have seen, but someone did a comic.
It was a long
Star Marine type thing, which was really good.
Yeah, I mean, but like actual fictional superheroes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
all I'm going to say is the champ is happy to be on the front cover of the first edition.
And it'll be going, the champ is here.
That's it, and then the champ gets.
So every time they go into a scenario, they basically get a big speaker system out and play that, and then you come down in your cape and go, "Oh yeah, come on then."
Yeah, do you want to set up a dogfight, man? You with someone else. It's going to take your championship away from you, man.
It's going to happen. Don't worry.
No, you need to fight Maverick. You need to fight Maverick, man.
Next year, I will be. I'll be a prison con, and it will be taken away in a drunken stupor. I will arrive, and it's fine. I don't mind. But it was fun whilst it lasted. Right, let's.
So the asteroids. So after they picked up the the one cargo box.
Oh, we're still doing that bit.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just in that long. They decided to go to Grim Hex, and so I think the aim with Grim Hex was to sell it. So they're just showing you that you can
and you can sell the goods at Hex
cargo run. So this is the new Grim Hex. Really good,
It's nice. It's nice. I mean, I was hoping to see if I could see any of the turrets because obviously they've talked about.
The problem is they did a really shit landing. So I think they cut it. That was.
I think the first time he actually did fall off it and died or something.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he said something about getting. Well, he's got it there in the top right. Criminal. Status. So he's obviously done something on the landing pad.
Killed someone.
Squished an NPC or something. Maybe it was actually the guy that that's there with the lollipops, and the landing gear just go.
It's like, criminal record. But even this one, he's landed right on the edge, so he almost fell off. So he doesn't take the cargo out of the ship. So he's going to go in and use the terminals. He doesn't actually sell it.
That's a really bad part.
What?
Thing is, though, something I wanted to say. If you go to a crashed ship and you pick up the cargo, would you be able to take that cargo just to any sort of port, or would it have to go to a sort of like a dinky port where they don't care if the cargo's stolen or not?
I think with this one, it's counted as salvage, so I think you can sell it anywhere.
Yeah, but that's not how salvage works in the real world.
No, but in this, it's kind at the moment at least, it's like free. If it's left on that planet, it's free for all. I mean, I don't think anything's been tagged as criminal yet. It might be.
Yeah, exactly.
They did talk about having smuggling in 3.0, but I don't think we've had any evidence of it being in. So whether they've changed their mind on that, but you make a good point. Like, because I know on Levski there was supposed to be a way for smugglers to get in.
Yeah,
which no one's mentioned. But yeah, you could well be that you have to take
it's quite well known in 2.6 already.
So here's a question for you then. Okay, go for it. Answer the question. Sorry, Dash. It's fine.
Oh, what was the question?
You said it was quite well known in 2.6 or so.
Oh yeah, 2.6. Yeah, there's one 0G corridor airlock that's like quite broken up, and it's like underneath. It's always in shadow. That's how you get it.
But they were moaning about it being in Levski, not Grim Hex, like a proper smuggler.
Oh, Levski.
Yeah.
So Levski. Oh, I don't know about Levski then.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see that. Unless they meant Grim Hex and they said Levski by mistake. Because like you said, I know the one in Grim Hex.
Yeah.
There's many ways in, isn't there?
Grim Hex, has a few entries.
There's two. There's two hidden entries, and then there's the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a broken one on the side. There's the one.
Yeah, the broken one on the right, and then the one on the down the bottom on the left side of the
round the corner, up the back, over the hill.
And then, but Levski, but they talked about Levski. Levski's kind of has its own kind of kind of rules, doesn't it? Where Hex is kind of known as a pirate base, so this everything pretty much kind of goes. Whereas Levski's kind of it's a bit like I guess like the Thunder Zone with whatever her name is. From Mad Max, or whatever, she kind of runs the town, and there's a degree of rules going on. It's got that kind of. We're not UEE, but we would do deals with you. Yeah,
we're still our own type of governed body. But the crates. Once you buy a crate or accept a mission for a crate, they talked about physical ownership and legal ownership.
Yeah.
So the legal ownership would be transferred to you. And if something happens to you on the way, your ship gets destroyed, those crates would still have the legal ownership imprint for you. And if somebody picks it up as salvage, I mean, they could probably sell it at Grim Hex because they wouldn't care about legal ownership. They only care about the content of the crate. But somewhere like Port Olisar, as soon as they scan that and they realize legal ownership is not the same person that just brought this crate in, call the cops.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good point, and it's not something they've mentioned. But I hope that is in, because that will give a little bit more of a twist to the game as well, like in 3.0 if they do put that in.
Especially introducing tools to hack the crates and change the ownership.
Yep. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
That's very cool.
I was so in
minigame.
The real world, in the real world, in terms of like you were going to say, because I was curious, because I don't know the rules in terms of salvage. So let's just say I was a pirate in the real world or whatever, and I found goods on board a crashed ship, and I wanted to then sell, or I was an average person on, I don't know, say I was in Wales like Miz, and some ship crashed, and I picked up the goods, and I wanted to sail. Somewhere.
Apparently, we're just picking on the Welsh this episode.
I don't know where the ship's going to be just going over the Brecon Beacons over land.
Just come in, and it's kind of like, some crazy drunken person's been, piloting it or whatever, captaining it, and they crash it, and whatever goods are there, and then I was to go and try and sell that goods. Where, what would be the situation? I don't know where you are, or what would be.
It depends. Wouldn't you have to check? Technically, if it would be like lost stuff, so if they put a thingy out for it, like a reward, a claim for it,
a thingy. That's the technical term for it.
A thingy.
If they put a thingy out for it, you're stuffed. But if they don't put a thingy out, you're all right. You're getting that digging road.
It's like if you find something, you hand it into the police now. So like I had this situation where I had a proper sat nav,
£1 million in.
Really expensive sat nav was left outside mine underneath my stairs. So I took it to the police. right? And they said if it hasn't been requested in so long, you could technically come back and claim ownership.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it also depends on what it is. I mean, if it's a crate of bananas, like a wooden crate of bananas, that's kind of hard to track. But if it's like a piece of electronics, or if it's a car or whatever, that's a bit easier to track and to actually realize who owns it. But for something that's is just not produced, but as basic as a banana, let's just say that.
I think Disposable's answered this. He's just said that basically the laws stand that if a crashed or sunken ship belongs to the original owner for an amount of time, and then once that time passes, then that goods then belong to you. So in theory, I'm just thinking that you do the same thing. You find something, and then you have to have it in as a time lock on it, or a timer or something to say, and then once that's passed, I don't know, a couple hours or a day or whatever, or a week, depends on what the goods are. And then in theory, if that period of time has passed and the person hasn't even gone back to retrieve it or put a bounty on it or something, it'd be quite interesting to see how the gameplay would work on that. How would you, if I, for example, was to die with my goods randomly, my ship's crashed, whatever, I've died, and I know where my goods are, but I've spawned on the other side of the planet or something, it's going to take me ages to get back to it. But somebody else has picked up my goods from my ship and has taken it to somewhere else. Do we have a tracker on the goods, firstly? And then secondly,
that might be something you put on, I suppose.
Because they showed us the tracker on the HUD, didn't they? There's the track button for ships, but do you have a track button for the goods as well?
That might be something you can have as an option. So you might be able to insure your cargo, which adds trackers to it.
Okay.
Maybe like every piece of like the crate would have a very low-powered short-range tracker. So you would first have to track the ship. And then when you get into the ship's range, it would get more specific to track the specific crate.
Okay. But I'm just saying, in terms of like tracking goods, and then you could then claim it back. Because if that's how they were to do it in this game in like real life, how would you get your goods back? Is all I think.
I think at this point it's just speculation until they get a specific design document about legal and physical ownership of cargo, not just ships. I think they already touched on ships, but cargo is a different thing.
Yeah.
Well, back on the at least UK laws, I think it basically the stuff belongs to the person that owns it. Just because it's salvage or it's crashed, it belongs to the person that owns it. The same as if you go metal detecting on someone else's land and you find coins that are valuable, it belongs to the person's land unless you ask them permission to go on there and find it and say, can I keep anything I find? But otherwise, I think it actually goes to the landowner.
I think there's been cases where people have found like millions of pounds worth of gold bullions, and they've had to split the landowner's been good enough to say, okay, well, I'll split it with you half and half because you found it, but half of it because it's my land, I'll take the other half, which is pretty good going really for not doing anything other than owning the land. But for sure, that makes sense. So that's pretty cool.
Right, so back on to...
But what if nobody owns that little piece of...
If no one owns
it, you found it in public land and it's yours, I think.
Or would it be the Crown's? Because technically, if in the UK, all land belongs to the Queen, in theory.
I wonder how much of UE space will belong to the Queen in the 30th century.
Probably all of it. This is Britain.
It's all going to be British.
It's all going to belong to the Queen. To the Queen!
And she's still going to be alive.
She'll still be alive. I managed to find some performance-enhancing drugs. I'm still the ruler here.
It's called tea.
The sun never sets on the British Galactic Empire.
That would actually be a cool cosplaying, like a role-playing thing.
British Galactic Empire. That would be a dun dun. Dude, look, I see Messel coming in, marching in at BritainCon in full uniform.
People who still clinging on to the old British Empire. Every ship has a Union flag on it. No, it's actually Union Jack because it's ship.
Full red suits. It would be borderline kind of like the Red Guard. That's what it would kind of be like. Borderline the Red. It'd be
Beefeaters.
It would be intimidating.
Beefeaters guarding the inside of your ships. Yeah, why not?
We would intimidate a lot of people.
What am I getting myself into?
Well, I'll get.
You've got 3 Brits on here. You're getting yourself into bad waters.
How did I bring up the Queen? What the fuck?
Love the Queen. It's okay, dude. I understand. She's a very lovely lady. Did you notice what I liked about the terminal Miz that you brought up here is that they had the sound was different as well. They had obviously that old school kind of sound. It feels like it's got an 80s
this one has
kind
been
of
made
vibe.
Very DOS. Yeah.
Arcadey, it says that. Oh, yeah, arcadey. So I'll get it playing now. So this is what they were showing as a second example. Jump straight from the Queen to this, I know. For the example of a trading console, but in Grim Hex rather than Port Olisar. So everything's obviously not been maintained by a central government or the UEE. And it also says on here, on this screen here, trading console, and at the top it actually says it was a trial piece of software and it is now expired. So it's been hacked so that you can still use it.
Maybe it's like WinRAR. It's nice for you to buy a license, but you don't have to.
Yeah, something like that. So
I like this a lot actually. When I heard it and the first time I showed it, I mean, some people didn't like it, but but I was like, I like the fact that all the terminals are slightly different and they've got a bit of character about them. And I'm curious to know, like, when I can build my base, if I can choose the type of terminals that I want to have on my base and stuff. I don't have to have
colors.
Yeah, exactly. It will be.
You'll have everything in pink, wouldn't you?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Or could be a coral. Could be quite good. A bit of coral.
Maybe it's fuchsia.
Fuchsia. Nice. Yeah, I do like a bit of fuchsia.
Should we carry on?
Or mauve.
Should we? You can discuss your
salmon on all the walls.
Your female colour.
Salmon on the walls, white on the roof, and mauve on the floor. So it gets this sort of rising, expanding space.
If you put salmon on the walls, exactly. Toby Tej will not be able to walk past without licking the walls. So salmon.
As I would catch him, I'll catch him every time. He'll be caught every time.
Trading console. At the top, you have an option of buy
but sad for Toby Tej because all the salmon paid is going to be lead.
For anybody new to the stream, Toby Tej, his character is a polar bear. Okay, just so everyone's clear on the joke. Toby Tej is, you're crazy, but his character he plays is a polar bear. Okay, so there you go. For those people listening in a car that never have no idea what we're talking about. Right.
Do you think people listen to in the car?
You never know. Some people might listen. I listen to lots of podcasts in the car. Lots of that's the best place to listen to them.
He downloads it as well.
True.
Best place to listen to them.
There's a podcast I'm addicted to recently, and when I went to Frankfurt, I listened to 10 episodes on the way there and 10 episodes on the way back, or 15 even.
Well, mine is Critical Role at the moment.
I watched all of it.
Apparently, they got 400 hours of Critical Role, so that's
love
good.
it. We could talk about with Daj. Honestly, we're going to have another conversation on stream. We're going to sort something out. We'll do comics. We'll do Critical Role. We'll do another podcast. It's going to be great. Very excited about it.
So, back to this terminal. Well, before we get into Critical Role talk, which that will literally floor this podcast. So
no one will be here.
There is a buy and sell option on the console. So obviously they want to sell something. So as soon as you click that, it asks the same thing as buying it. Select the location where you want to sell it from. Which again, it tells you, lists all your ships, and it also tells you how much cargo they've got on them as well, which is a bit blurry, but you can kind of see it. So how many they've got? Oh God, what's he got now?
Oh wow, look at that, dude!
I'm a fan.
Is that the dudes? Is that the Critical Role guys? Characters?
The Critical Role team?
I think it is. I think that is. That's all the characters drawn.
Right,
I'm really jealous.
We need to have a little chat.
Right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not happy about this right now. Daj! And he's not even listening. Dude, that's sick. That's Critical Role, right? That's their characters.
You bastard.
Oh my, you bastard. I only just found them. Like, Miz introduced me to them and they're like my new heroes. I love listening to them when I go to sleep now. I watch
Shadows of Mordor
so far.
Amazing.
I watched all of them. I started at episode 40 and I watched the first 39 like a few days.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Hours in the day to watch them for a few days. Wow.
I'm like literally like I put them on when I'm working now and they're in the background and I'll even have my boss talking to me and I'd be kind of tempted just to mute her so that I can carry on.
They deserve to be watched, not listened to.
Oh, this is stunning. Oh, yeah. Absolutely superb.
I have it on
If you don't know what we're on about, by the way, Critical Role is a Dungeons and Dragons live kind of role-playing streaming group. They're part of Geek and Sundry. on YouTube. If you've never watched them, I thoroughly recommend. If you're even remotely interested in quality storytelling, role play, and it's not even. And also just
Matthew Mercer is a god when it comes to storytelling and the voices and all the characters.
Absolutely stunning.
And they are
recommend it.
They are to blame for at least for the most part to bringing D&D back into mainstream.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't know about. I mean, again, we're going way off topic here, but I mean, I didn't know about D&D at all. I was one of those people that thought it was just like for virgins that would never get laid.
Okay, we'll stop. We'll stop this here.
Stop.
Madness. I know,
and I was wrong.
I know.
I was totally
you're wrong. If you feel D&D's not cool, watch them. And we'll move on from that because it's
birds are hot and it's amazing, and I was completely wrong, and I hate my life because I was so wrong.
What have I done with my life? But anyway, we're all starting again now, so it's all good.
Yes.
Okay. I've got one on.
So
Friday,
back to the terminal. Back to the terminal. Star Citizen terminal.
So this is the terminal. This is where you're selling it, right? Okay, and then this is showing the goods that you've got for sale. No, it doesn't say anything here about them being illegal or criminal or anything like that. So, like you said, we don't know if that's going to be tagged. Oh yeah, he's showing off the expired thing. And then he just basically hits sell, and it takes them from the ship the same way as it adds them. That was quite cool, the way it shows the actual crate.
Trial expired.
The crate there in the corner as well, and it tells you. So when you click to claw it, so it tells him what the actual gas was inside the box. So if he didn't know, he now knows. It shows you a little bit of the box in the top right hand corner, which is quite nice. I like that little graphic for it. And then you can choose how many units of it you want to sell as well. What's interesting is it says 6 units there, but he only had 1 box. So the units per box is gonna. Mind you, on the left it says 1. No, 6 units out of 100. So does that mean 1 box can take 100 units of chlorine by the looks of it? No, that's how it looks like it's going to be.
I struggle to see if this is fully 100% correct, if I'm being completely honest, because they do love to lie to us
at the moment.
Yeah,
but because I think this is playing like the build thing that's in. But yeah, it's interesting because it might well be that you can get more units per box.
Well, gas can be compressed. So
yeah. So. And that's good because it means you've taken a box thinking, oh, I'll sell this, it's going to be worth a lot, and then find out it's only got 6 units in rather than it says that can take 100, which would be worth a lot actually because it's 600 for 6. So
some good money, there.
Good money.
I would like to be inside the cargo bay when somebody sells or buys the cargo and see if it spawns it. It spawns it right where I'm standing and just glitches the entire game out.
In fact, that's something we should try.
Yes, once we get access to 3.0, right?
Yes. Once.
Yes.
Once.
Weekly, that's not next week. Yeah, anyway.
Not testing it in a minute.
As you can see again that he does the same thing, goes there, buys, and so this one he actually buys, did you see on that? So you can buy, he bought agricultural stuff, but on that list, and we get to it, pause, at the very bottom there is Vice. So there is going to be some illegal stuff
what's above it, though?
Get extra protection with the secure hide shield.
It's an ad because it's a trial software.
Yeah. Want to stay in the thick of battle a bit longer? It's nice. It's a nice touch. I like that sort of stuff. It's really good. This is what you got.
I wonder if that's an intentional ad or if it's just somebody putting the wrong type of text into a wrong type of XML.
Knowing them, I should say it was done on purpose. There's been a bit like that ATV where they put the list of the ships available in 5 points something, which was just a complete troll post. They do it on purpose, and they put on the back of whiteboards sometimes on purpose. Like this is coming next patch, just to troll people a little bit.
If CIG is hiring people just to come up with all this stuff, I would like to recommend myself.
I've got quite a few ideas of trolling people.
Yeah. I grew up on the internet. Those are my credentials.
So did I.
So I didn't see how many agriculture he bought, but if you actually notice when he goes back to the ship, it actually has 2 units in it, right? Or 2 boxes rather than the 1. So
he bought 1 and there's 2.
Yeah. I was going to comment on one thing.
Did he buy 2 different things? Didn't he?
No, he just bought the agricultural stuff.
Well, look, okay, I thought he bought something else.
I was going to say, I love the fact that this is just from a designer's perspective, but I love the fact that they added the you've expired your trial.
for it. I know people don't probably I don't know if you guys. I don't know. Maybe it's just me thinking I'm clever because I was like, "Ooh, I get it," because they're having a little pop at people that use pirated and
was Madness not here 20 minutes ago?
Oh,
No.
I don't think he was.
I think he was just talking to his wife again or something.
Must have. We kind of had this.
Did you already?
Yes.
little discussion about this, yeah.
Be right back.
Sorry.
And also how in the list of the stuff you can sell, there's also like an ad,
Yeah,
which is
sorry.
probably tied to the expired trial.
I thought you might have, but I was discussing. There was a gentleman above. He's an older gentleman, and I think he fell. So I was.
Oh.
What?
Also was distracted. I think he's okay. He's got some.
He just looked up in the ceiling and hope. Is he alive? Is he moving?
Some
Right,
legs dangling
he's-
through the ceiling.
I think he's okay, but I was just a bit. You know, when you got an older neighbor, you kind of get a bit worried. So we were just making sure that he seemed to be okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, so
That
is cool. The trial period thing is good. We did kind of discuss it, but yeah, it's
Sorry.
cool little
I
addition.
I thought.
But yeah, it is a nice touch. Yes.
So yeah, as you can see here,
We're totally
he's
not
ordered-
pirates, guys.
He's ordered agriculture, and he's got 2 bags, two bags full.
Yeah, this was
Yes, sir,
interesting.
yes, sir.
What's in those boxes? Because there was no logos appearing on them.
He just said agriculture. So
Yeah, but there was no symbol on these boxes. When he went
Well, they had
close
a
to it,
different
he didn't see
shape,
a symbol.
and there was like a little, not really. There's like a sack over the top of him.
Was there a sack over it?
and that
Because
was
I didn't. That was it was a sack. Okay, cool. I was curious what the symbol was for the agriculture one. That was.
So it could be
Okay,
seeds
I'll
or
get it back up for you.
tools.
Yeah.
There you go. So I think there was a kind of something in the corner
catching
of it as a little logo on there. But yeah, it doesn't. I'm not sure what. It didn't say what was in it. Just said agriculture.
I was just curious, like what the logo was, because I was looking at the picture of the still, and I was like, oh, I don't see a symbol, but it's fine. It's fine. Good.
Bit of fertilizer.
Bit of fertilizer for my combine
I
harvester.
like a bit of fertilizer on my crops.
Or if you want to make like homemade explosives, do you steal the fertilizer from the agricultural place?
Yeah, maybe. Can you make bombs? Yeah, that would be that would be interesting.
Oh, look at these crates.
Make your own explosions.
They
they
look bagged up.
I thought it reminded me a little bit of like a kind of, like the old suits, like the ones in Fallout 4, the ones where you got the hat and stuff for the radiation suit type.
Yes, yeah, it was like the green thing over it. Yeah, I mean, it might be.
That's the future.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, exactly, that as well. Back to the Future. I love that when he comes out.
I just thought I'd say the title of what you both were thinking. You're trying to think of the word.
I love it when he comes out and he's like he's the one where he's got the tape and he's pretending to be Darth Vader. He's like,
Yeah.
or when he first gets out of the DeLorean, isn't it? And they think he's an alien. That's the
Yeah.
Yeah, got you. That was
Spoilers.
Spoilers. If anyone's never seen Back to the Future, I do apologize, but where have you been for the last 20, 30 years? Right. Okay.
Having sex with girls.
So I think we've covered cargo. Then I think we're done with cargo. Are we done with cargo?
Yeah, I think we're
How long?
That's pretty much cargo.
It only took an hour and 3/4.
I think
Yeah.
someone put good with cargo.
We're too much
Uptime
now.
in chat. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it
We
is.
already have.
I think we've covered cargo. It was good. It's good, and I'm excited for cargo. And it
is going to be one of the main features for 3.0 coming in, I think. So it's good to see the progress on it, and I think this is what we've been seeing on Burn Down and stuff, that they've kind of got the buying and selling sorted, which we saw there looked fine. So it's all good.
Okay. We have a few little topics. We can kind of go on for chat if you want to do this next. If you want to do it at the beginning, or you want to go. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go with
What's
this?
the time? Do you want to go on to ATV and talk about procedural cities, or what have we got at the top? Is there anything in particular in the top you wanted to talk about?
There was one or two kind of like interesting things. We've got the Raven leaks, which we can't talk about, but I'm happy to show people if anyone's seen the Raven leaks. I'll link.
You want to
them for
post,
you
put the
in
link
chat.
in chat. People
If you
can
want
click
them,
it, but I'm not going
if
to show
people
it
want
because
them.
of.
No, we won't show it. But if people want to see the Raven, the sound of the Raven and the firing guns and stuff, just say in chat if you're interested, and I will post you the link, and you can click on it and watch it to your heart's content. this was the thing I wanted to really more was to talk about, was the interesting thoughts on Death of a Spaceman that somebody had posted on Reddit. Now, I will read it out, and then you guys, well, I'll cover it and summarize it generally. Okay, so basically what he says is the death of a spaceman, and he makes a really valid point. He says that in Squadron 42, you're going to build your character. So the idea of the progression story of Squadron 42 is you'll play your character in Squadron 42, and then you become a citizen, and then you go into the persistent universe with this character that you've invested, I don't know how many hours, could be 10, could be 20 hours of actual gameplay and time with this particular character you've invested time with. Then you'll go into the persistent universe, and then you have to deal with something called death of a spaceman, as in your permadeath of this character. And the person, he's raising a valid point of, is like, how sad will it be to see the first spaceman, such as yourself, die after spending all this time in Squadron 42 developing the character? And it did kind of get me thinking about it. I was kind of like, there's a kind of there's a beautifulness to it, because it's like one character's story and the potential blossoming of a new story within the persistent universe. Maybe, you know, it would be interesting to see if they do like gene DNA continuation. So, you know, the idea of they've got this face splitting, this merging of faces. So potentially you could choose your parents to start with that create your character, and then maybe your character could have a relationship, and then their faces merge to create your offspring children, and then maybe the next generations are all kind of that type of, you know, maybe you could take DNA and continue the line through that type of idea, you know, of face meshing and stuff. Quite interesting to see how that would go.
You don't have to have your heir be like a blood relative, though. So you could be somebody completely different.
Yeah, create a completely new story, or you could maybe, if you wanted to try and keep the family line, if you wanted to try and, you know, just for role playing maybe purposes, or if you've created a character, and then maybe the next character could be a female, could be a daughter of your other character, and maybe the next one could be a son, or you know what I mean. Like, it would be quite interesting you could carry on the family name, as it were, within the persistent universe. Yeah, the legacy, if you wanted to. But for me, the main thing, going right back to the beginning, was, again, it's like, you know, are we comfortable with the death of our character, and that we've invested so much time in?
Comfortable.
In Squad. Oh no, yeah, I don't think we're going to be comfortable with it. But,
yeah, but then,
what's your thinking? What's your thoughts on it? Anyway, that's my whole picture. Discuss.
The whole death of the spaceman thing is a good thing, especially when it comes to my part. Yes, if my character dies, you know, I understand I've chosen that path of being a pirate. But for me, to pirate someone, it makes it go smoother, because they're thinking what you're thinking now. I do not want my character to die. So they're going to be more willing to give what I want, if that makes sense. So it kind of, the whole deaths thing, it makes gameplay more immersive. It makes you fully kind of really think about every single choice you make in the game, because it could be the last.
Mm-hmm.
So
it really makes you think about it.
Is like, so obviously it's going to rely on people playing Squadron 42 to have more of an investment. But do you think that it would depend a lot on the person? So how much that time and effort on that person means more to you. Some people may see it as not worrying; they just keep playing, and if they die, they start a new character, not bothered. Do you see?
Some out there, yeah.
Do you see it more having more of an impact and causing people to slow down and think about their actions more?
Yeah, I think it would cause people to slow down.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to lose my character. Every MMO I've played before, I've had a character. I spent ages. I mean, even now, so we're doing this D&D thing. I've spent ages, and there's not even that many options in the character creation screen, and I spent ages picking it. It doesn't look it from my characters, but yeah, I spent ages again, you know, choosing what I want, choosing the backstory, choosing the how it looks and everything else. And so the thought of it dying and kind of losing that is, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, in all honesty. And personally, if I had the choice, I would probably end up making my next character, the relative or whatever, try and look the same. And it's going to be a new thing, really. It's kind of weird. It would definitely affect how I play, I think.
I kind of the way I look at it is it could be a case of my concern with it is that your first character, the one, a bit like we were talking about in Assassin's Creed, where you had the first Azure, I think it was, and then it was Ezio Auditore, and then after that the characters weren't interesting. And my worry is that my first character, the one that I've invested my time with, Squadron 42, you know, I worry that that's where my love will be with that character, and then once they die, maybe because I've accidentally crashed into a bloody station for the third time by mistake, No, but I'm being steadily serious.
Well, that's the problem. If anyone's seen my flying, it's quite likely that I'll die within a week of playing.
But then you won't get attached then, mate, because it'll be so off.
That's true.
a meaningless death to something naive, or maybe you've run out of oxygen, but then okay, I'm kind of torn because I'm talking and thinking all at the same time. I'm kind of countering myself as I talk, because I kind of think, well, it's a bit like Game of Thrones, where someone you invested lots of energy in and just dies randomly for some stupid reason. It's like, oh, they're dead. You're like, oh no, that's terrible. That's a bit more like what real life is. But then a part of me is kind of like, well, I don't want to play completely real life. I want to play a computer game. But I just kind of, my worry is that the first character will be the one where I have all my investment in, and then after he's gone, the rest of the characters
you're going to give so much of a shit about the next
less
one.
Of a shit of, and it'll just become more of just a grinding character.
But you're the champ. You won't die, mate.
It depends on how, how many times. I would say it depends on how many times you die, and it would also depend on how CIG balances the time to kill. Like, I think that if considering how what sort of consequences actually dying will have, I think they need to give you enough time to get out of there once you realize you're not in a winning situation. Yeah. And especially just crashing a ship into a stationary object should not make it explode on impact.
Yeah.
For the less experienced pilots.
I totally concur. It should not make my ship blow up. Even if I'm going full speed and almost quantum into it, it should not make my ship blow up.
But they did say that like it would take a long time for you to die, because they don't want people being fully robots, but they were saying that parts would be replaced with robotic parts because of how
my cockpit has vaporized.
But then you come back anyways as a robot. Your robotic arms.
Only my little pinky was damaged in the explosion, and it's been
shot
replaced.
off. But you'll come back with a robotic little finger.
True immersion, right there. Brought to you by CIG.
Eva kind of, at least when I played it, had this system where basically you were a clone.
Yeah, they had the clone system. Oh. If you ever forgot your clone, you would hate yourself for the rest of your life, depending on how long
I did that.
Wow. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, this on Eve. This we're talking about the clones.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, we've all been there. Everybody's doing that. We've all fucked up on the cloning.
So that's one system to prevent that. But
do you think that they might change their mind on this? I mean, this is something they've just discussed but not really fleshed out. Do you think that might be something that they could potentially change? Like people not wanting
everything's subject to change. And the death of a spaceman was one of the first design documents they implemented, and it was way before the game just exploded as much as it did.
Because they say obviously gameplay and fun beats like the reality of it, and so it, like you said, if it's a very early document, it may have sounded like a good idea. Then it may come down the line and think, well, actually, this isn't such a good idea. People invest time. People are going to be really people moan when their beta character gets wiped before it goes live. So I do agree that should happen, but people moan about that. So you imagine investing your time in a character and then it's not all going to go. You're going to pass obviously stuff down.
Done. I've got the solution, Miz. I've answered it. I've got it. In my drunken, slightly semi-drunken stupor, I've discovered the solution to this answer.
The world and everything around it.
Put the choice. Sorry. Notepads.
Put it in a hat.
Put the decision in the player's hands. So when you die, you can choose if that's the end of that character's life or if you want
clone.
Yeah, or you can have multiple decisions with that person's life at the end. You can either, that's it, I want to start a fresh new character, I want to carry on, or you want to create an offspring, or you want to clone them and bring them back again exactly the same.
But there should be penalties. Cool. Like, creating a new character should have no penalty at all on your new character. But if you're creating a clone, that's going to be like super expensive. Yeah. Or if they're bringing you back, but with cybernetic replacement parts, that's going to be not as expensive, but still expensive.
Sure.
Like there should always be penalties, so you don't always go for the cheapest.
Okay, that would be in my mind, that would make a lot of sense. But I think if you give the choice to the
you were sober.
Yeah, if I was sober. Yeah. if you give the choice to the player, I think then that gives them the option to role play out however they feel comfortable with, you know. And again, I agree with you. I think if you make it so that there's a financial punishment to so you don't just spam away and die. I'm happy to die. It's like, you know, oh my god, I don't want to die, so I want to jump away from this fight because it's going to cost me 2 million. I've just spent already 5 million USD to respawn this character exactly the way I want. So that would be, you know, because there's no real punishment in the.
There's obviously we know that you're going to inherit certain things.
I like that idea. Sergi, Chris, we just done it, baby. It's done.
If you inherit stuff,
sorted.
If you inherit stuff as a new character.
Send it. Someone clip it.
Do you inherit their reputation? I can't remember. Did they say you was going to inherit reputation as well?
No. It depends.
Because this could be. I mean, like this could make gameplay options for people. Like if you've got an extremely bad reputation and you can't take it any longer, you could just start again. You know?
Yeah.
Well, it depends, isn't it?
Wealth to somebody else, and then.
Depends on legal inheritance, because anything money related is transferred to your next of kin. That includes debt.
Yes.
I'm just thinking like the Shadow or like Batman. You know, you can, you know, your next, you know, keep the name going on. Same.
Because I mean, if you keep everything going on, then like what? Even if it just looks slightly different, what are you really losing from a death?
Well, I agree with the financial punishment. I think the financial punishment is will be severe. I think don't kill the idea. What are you doing? He's destroying a genius idea. Unbelievable. We've answered it, and he's breaking it already.
Like Japanese.
Just think of it this way: they've got plenty of time to think of something. They've got plenty of time to think of something, but it's not going to be in the game anytime soon.
I hear what you're saying. There needs to be. You need to make there be some degree of a downside. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to make it so that you just respawn your same character or a clone of or a remake of the same character. Easy. It should be a real penalty somewhere along the lines of that's, you know, or multiple penalty. Finances, reputation's all gone, wiped. Your rep's completely gone, and you have to build it up again with all your characters.
I don't want this rep anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's all gone. It's all gone. Yeah, I agree. But that would be, you know.
And then you might get your relative killing you to take over your business.
Just do it. Just do it, son. Just do it.
Come in your office and they finish you off.
Here's a twist. It's actually the character you've chosen as your next of kin that ends up killing you as an NPC.
They come in like a little cutscene. They come in and turn the life support off in the medic bay.
It's my turn now. I am number one.
That would be so good. If you don't treat your NPCs, but that's a great idea. If you don't treat your NPCs well, I think I've said it before. You don't treat your NPCs, they rebel and overthrow you and kick you out the airlock.
You can't literally have an AI take your job and your whole life.
Games of Thrones would be the games of the verse.
That's what's going to happen in the real world, mate. AI is going to take all our jobs. That's for sure. The only ones that are going to be left are the ones programming them.
Yeah, just look what happened in Zimbabwe. You know, Mugabe got a coup.
Exactly. So I would love the idea that if you treat your NPCs poorly, they quit, tell you to fuck off, and walk out the door, or they, or they get unhappy. Mutiny. Exactly, mutiny. They kind of like next thing you know, you're floating in space. You're like, what the hell?
I was doing so well, sitting in your hot tub. In your Constellation Phoenix, and someone just comes along with an electric wire and just, there you go.
Or just ejects you into space along with a hot tub.
Special secret. That would be a great idea as a smuggler, as a pirate. Have a little hot tub with a button you press and it opens up and sucks them out into space. So you can be like a VIP lounge, get some high class clients in, get in the hot tub, have a drink, you'll be fine. Press the button.
It's a 3-star assassination.
You've been watching too much James Bond, where he says to him, "Yeah, you may leave the building," and then he realizes he's on a plane. And the door corridor opens and it turns into a slide. Bye. Out you go into space. Oh my god, Miz is clearly, Miz, you are an evil boss empire in the making. That's what it is.
You need a white cat. Next episode, he'll be like with a white cat here. Yeah, just
no. He's gonna have one of those
at the moment.
He's gonna have one of those yow yows. He's just gonna go.
Oh, I'm not. a Sharpay.
No, just do as the Queen does and get a corgi.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or a
so you need
corgi.
to give me a couple of corgis. Yeah.
Corgi.
Got the top hat. The top hat is ready. So we just need a couple of corgis and be fine.
Just a monocle.
Oh,
Right.
not encouraged. Seriously, that's it. D&D Critical Role ×5. Mrs. in character
That's
already.
what I'm going to be like as a DM. Don't worry about it. You're all going
That's what it's gonna
to
be. I'm not getting in the hot tub now with Miss. Be like, oh, goodness, come into the hot tub. I'll be like, you get in it first, mate, and step away. Put all hands over here so I can see them at all times. My God, terrified now, Miss. Terrified. Right, and then the next that was quite interesting. I didn't expect that to go off.
2 hours later, we've just talked about the death of the spaceman again.
Jesus Christ! Yes, exactly. We only had covered 2 topics this evening on the Addictive Podcast: cargo and the death of the spaceman.
If you have any questions, exclamation question, because we're going to have to run to them soon. So
We will be. We'll be going to them in a second. I think the next. I'm not going to do anything else. But the next thing was briefly. I was going to talk about the ship schedule for the
you mean the anniversary sale?
Anniversary sale. Yeah, I was just going to talk about the anniversary sale generally, and I was just curious. I mean, I like to cover a bit of questions before other people get in with the questions, but we might get them again in questions. But just talk about ships, and then I'll lead off with the ships that I'm excited for and I'm potentially going to buy. So for me, it's the Carrack. The Super Hornet is a maybe, because I would love to have I need a tanky ship in my fleet. The M50, because I just love how fun it is. I've really enjoyed the free flight with it, and I would love to be able to buy it. And then a Vandal alien ship. I don't have any alien ships in my fleet other than the Nox, which isn't a ship. It's obviously land base. So I'd love to get either the Blade, if that comes up on sale, a Glaive, and all the new... I mean, the Glaive and the Scythe. I don't think the Scythe will come on, but if the Glaive comes on, again, that's a maybe. But only because the reworking is exciting, and I would love to have I'd like to have an alien ship. I mean, do you think the Vandal Hunter will come up for purchase, do you think? I don't think so, because it will be... They only do ships, alien Vandal ships, if they are...
They will not be doing any
concept.
right? They will not be doing any concept sales. Only ships that have already been on sale.
Okay. No, there are 2 new ships coming.
Are they?
Yes, there are 2 new ships. So one of them is an Anvil ship, and you can see by the poster
the Pisces.
Pisces.
Well, we don't know. That one's actually confirmed what it is, but it's this one here.
But considering they said they've started work on the Carrack, and the Carrack comes with the Pisces, it's kind of like logical to assume.
Okay, hang on.
But the Carrack's
just remind me.
Okay, yeah. So it means the Pisces belonging to the Carrack. Yeah, could be.
What is Pisces a Greek god by any chance?
Pisces is Greek for 2 fish.
Really? I thought Pisces was...
It's the zodiac symbol that's denoted with 2 fish.
Yeah.
Is that the oh, sorry, I'm being really dumb here. But
sort of yin-yangy looking thing.
Yin-yangy. Because I'm trying to because obviously the names of ships, sometimes they kind of have hints to what it is.
Yeah, it's the horoscope. One of the horoscope things.
It's the horoscope. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is it horoscope? Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sounds wrong now, saying it was horoscope. It's your horoscope. Scope to horror.
Halloween.
How do you type things down and they don't look right once you type it? It's like, shit, is that right?
Pisces.
CES.
And the top one is it's definitely going to be an Anvil ship. Is that
2 fishes? Yeah. Okay.
Horror.
Celestial
horror.
Welcome to your horoscope.
But from farther away, so you could look at it through a scope.
But I'm sure he was a Greek god.
No.
Pisces represents the fish, sometimes represented by co-fish.
Yeah, it's a fish.
You're not talking about Hades or Hercules or something like that.
The alien ships are going to be selling on the 26th, so we don't know what the. So
we're back to the salmon thing though.
It's just fish. Yeah, we're back to
Toby's in trouble. He wants the Pisces. So yeah, I think
and he'll have the Ursa.
Oh dear. But I think we know one is definitely an Anvil ship. And they did say that they weren't going to do any more combat ships for now. They were going to do some civilian ships. But the Anvil one looks like a combat ship.
It does, doesn't it?
I don't know, and I don't know. I don't think we have any clue what the second one's going to be. I mean, I've seen mentions of people saying it's going to be a cyclone tank, like another version of that. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's got ideas in chat. But
so I'm going to blow you away, okay? Right, Pisces is an ancient constellation derived, some say, from the story of the terrible Greek god Typhon. This is not the Chinese word for the big wind, which in English is of course spelled typhoon. The French, however, spell the word typhon, which adds to the confusion. It's also the Chinese brought the word from Greek, so potentially also referring to the word meaning cyclone. So, cyclone, typhoon, Pisces. Do you think it could potentially?
The tumbrel's a cyclone.
I know the tumbrel's a cyclone, so I'm thinking maybe this would be the typhoon. Anvil typhoon.
Why would it be the Anvil Typhoon?
Hurricane. They've already done
how's
Anvil
that
Hurricane.
linking to the cyclone? We're not going to link it to the cyclone, are they?
No.
Cyclone's made by a different company.
Hurricane. Anvil Hurricane. Anvil Hurricane, and then the Anvil Typhoon. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's a bit of a stretch.
I know.
Even for CIG.
But if he is right, he's never going to let it down. And his head will just be big and massive and it'll pop.
You know, I've said it here first. The Typhoon. The Anvil Typhoon. There it is. Just saying. Throwing it out there. Come on, CIG. Roll me lucky, baby. I will never let these guys live it down because they're laughing now. Laughing on the other side of their face. Come on, the 20 whatever it is anniversary sale.
So so it's going to be split up into. So we know one's definitely Anvil, so we're going to know on the 24th, which is this Friday, what the first concept's going to be. So I think we're pretty sure it's going to be Anvil. So they said I can't remember where the source was, but there was something being said that, because before we had a week's notice before a concept sale, and they told you what the price was going to be, but no other information. Whereas now they've decided to backtrack on that, and they've said that they're going to tell you everything on the day of the release or something. So how much it costs, all the stats about it.
It's going to sell out anyway.
It'll make a mad buy for it. Basically,
yeah.
The way they're doing it is going to make a mad buyout, and people are just going to go crazy on
I don't think it makes any difference. I think letting people know a week before what the price is doesn't do anything other than, shit, I've got to balance my wallet because I'm buying this ship. You know, like, what else does it do? It's just giving you a name, and a price doesn't tell you shit, really. So,
a lot of people,
people have decided they want to get it. They've already decided they want to get it.
Yeah. I mean, people were buying the Pioneer before there was anything that even resembled a Pioneer. The name, the ship, the cost, anything. I'm buying one of them, but you don't know what it is. Yeah, but I'm buying it.
I'm buying
right,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
But it's like the Tesla just did the lorry launch, and then they showed us the new. I know it's sick. And then they showed us the new. Then suddenly, like, hey, guess what, guys? Surprise, surprise! We've got a Roadster in the back of one of these things as well, just to show it. And I kind of feel like CIG. It's the kind of, I have in my head the plan of what I want to buy, but it will all potentially go way
and
out.
What these new ships are.
Once I see whatever's new, because I'll be like,
I don't kind of understand this new change. So as Foible says, like, really, the part of the reason I'm telling you the cost the week before is so you can at least be prepared what you're going to be telling the missus that you're spending money on the next Friday. But you can take her out for a meal. You can treat. You got a week to treat her, buy her some flowers.
Right.
Go and take her to a nice restaurant.
But the cheap flowers, not the nicest restaurant. Yeah.
You've got a week to plan with your budget.
Depending on how much it's going to be. Is it going to be $100? It's going to be $300? She'll know whether you're taking her to a fancy place or just to McDonald's.
If you take her for a weekend trip to London in a 5-star Michelin restaurant, then she knows that the fucking Pioneer's just dropped.
Don't go too crazy though, because you need to keep those funds for the Pioneer or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if it's going to be expensive ship, you're taking it to McDonald's. But if it's going to be a cheap ship, you'll have enough funds to take her out to a nice place.
Madness, what have you done on this? What have you done to kind of nothing?
What have you done? The guilt straight away. It's like, what have you found out? Who's told you? I don't know.
So far, I have been siphoning money off my account, putting it into a separate account so I can buy stuff. No, I have no idea what I do.
That is so true. That is so true.
No, I
$10 a week for a month.
I have a little list. There's a very small amount of money. This is large amount of money. I mean, it's a small amount of money that has been put aside over the last couple of months in preparation for. I only want one ship, in honesty, which is the Carrack. If I can't have anything else, I'll be happy with just upgrading my Aquila to a Carrack. I'll be quite happy with that. And then going forward, I'm still, at the end of the day, we're only in my mind, in terms of the development schedule of a 10-year development window for this game, we're only 3 years in, because I don't count the first 2 years. The first 2 years for me were building staff, building buildings, and building staff. And even you could potentially say the first 3 years we're doing that. Yeah. I think seriously, we're only 3 years into the game.
Like in full stride, basically. Yeah,
exactly. I think we're only now starting to step up into what I would. It's like if Usain Bolt. We're a bit like Usain Bolt. It's like we're impressive. We're amazing to look at. Woo! But when we get off the blocks, we're a bit slow to start. But once we get into that middle and last part of the race, we're going to decimate everybody. You know, that's the way that Star Citizen. So.
Well, that's a brand new analogy that I haven't heard yet, but.
It makes sense. I have seen the man race.
Yes, definitely.
He's not a bolt. He doesn't bolt out of the blocks, but he has this steady acceleration until mid-race.
When the drugs kick in, he's boom.
No, it's
need drugs. He doesn't need
it's like everybody else has a natural aspirated engine, but Usain Bolt has a turbo. But that takes a bit to spool up.
Yeah, exactly. Once he gets going. So yeah, no.
Now that you lost like 75% of our audience.
Yeah,
I love the fact that nobody disagreed with that. We've actually added probably about 12 people to the viewership with that analogy. Wow, no one shot me down for a change. The drinking positive energy is going well this evening. Woo!
It is. You're doing well.
Typhoon, Anvil Typhoon, and
Death of a Spaceman and Usain Bolt. Yeah.
Wow, I'm on fire tonight, boys.
Fire.
When you're hot,
who are you?
When you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah, who are you and what have you done with the real Miss?
Pull off the fake mask.
So the main thing with that
Derek
is
Smart appears.
Two new ships. We don't know what they're going to be. I'm hoping for an alien ship would be nice.
Oh, hang on. So
I've already got my alien ship now.
A mini Banu.
Prowler. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you've got. What did you have? Scythe.
Prowler.
Oh, you got the Prowler. For all your, I love it, but I don't have enough friends.
You can come fly in it.
I would love that though. Thank you, Bo. I will definitely take you up on that. I will definitely take you up on that because it is beautiful, and I'm very jealous that it's a wonderful looking ship.
Whenever you want to fly,
pointy, sticky bits that just snap off in the wind. It looks like a fantastic ship, just like the Reliance wings do.
I was saying this, and I've said this on my stream. Is I think that the Glaive and the Scythe at the moment feel more like Tavarian ships than they do Vandals. And I'm glad that they're reworking those two ships to look more
the
like
the actual cockpit just seems too small.
Well, it's the feathers. It's the fact they're more bird-like.
Instead of spiky. Yeah.
Whereas
Tavaran,
sorry.
Blade-like.
Tavarian.
Sorry, dyslexia. Sorry, Bisco.
Tavarish.
Yes. No, just saying, I think the whole point of the Vandal ones were meant to be more like weapons, like blades. They're meant to look like swords, blades, axes, not feathers.
But it doesn't matter. They look nothing like the Driller.
No.
So
skull. They need to be more skull-like and more like that.
Swarm-like.
Kind of
they need
skeletal.
That actually looks like that it was swarm, because that's what the Vandal do. The Vandal are known to fight in numbers, aren't they? Then they swarm their targets.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. More exosuit. It feels more like an insect, or like an exo kind of
skeleton,
skeletal design. That's that for me. When I see the Vandal, that's
kind
how I'm
like
thinking.
The Banu.
Scary.
If you look at the Banu ship, it kind of looks like it's got rib cages and
a little bit like that
and stuff. Like if the Vandal was maybe a little bit more like that structurally.
Yeah. And it needs to have the kind of the iridescent kind of glowing feature. When I get into it, I want to see like a pulsing, almost like organic kind of qualities to. The Vandal ship.
Cylon.
Very much so. I would say so. I think that would be the best. Yeah, I mean, if you've got the Anvil, it's kind of like the equivalent of kind of Buck's kind of ship, and then you've got the Earth kind of ship, and then you've got
and then you got the toasters.
Yes, and then you have the Vandals. Absolutely, 100%. 100% agree. This is amazing.
Where do you think the spread light comes from?
It's like, good man. Daz, you're more than welcome to come back as many times as you like. Comic books, Critical Role. It's just like we're like a married couple already. It's unbelievable. We should just tie the knot tomorrow. Move on.
Run.
I am.
So, I don't know what you want to talk about next.
So you don't want to answer the question. I don't want to answer the question.
No, let the other guys go.
Go for it. What question? Oh, sorry, was there a question? What was the question?
You talked about 2 ships, right? You were
Fuck
saying
me, that was half hour ago.
Okay, no, it wasn't.
Go for it.
Oh, maybe it was.
I think it was. God.
Yeah. No, I just want to say I'm not buying any ships because I have all the ships and more than I ever wanted to get. I have the Carrack.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Saber. Have several others. Have 85X, Nox, Dragonfly, Beta, Hornet.
Do you actually own a Hornet or is it a loaner?
I think it's a loaner, yeah, actually. But what isn't a loaner is the Avenger.
Okay. Well,
So yeah, I've gone past concierge quite a while ago. So
Yes, I think everyone here has.
yeah. So I'll be fine.
Apart from Miz, he's got his Aurora. He's happy.
I've got my Aurora LN. Keeping it real.
Are you buying anything this anniversary sale?
Another Aurora LN.
You can never have too many Auroras.
He might upgrade it to the luxury model.
The LN's better than the luxury model, to be honest. Maybe I'll buy the seat from the luxury model and put it in the LN.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. That looks like. I want that for my computer seat.
You want the Winnebago. Yeah. He's waiting on the Winnebago. That's all you want.
That's the Beta, isn't it?
Winnebago. The Beta.
Yeah, the Mustang Beta.
You think so?
Beta.
Yes,
It's the Beta. It's a bit like it.
Yeah, it's the Bangstang.
It's not quite though. The Winnebago's got more. It's got like.
Yeah, it's.
And also the problem is at the moment,
I think.
When they rework it, maybe because at the moment you can't get in it properly. It's like.
Well, I think the Freelancer would be more like conducive to be made into a Winnebago.
Well, that's why I picked Freelancer with the advert and the kind of what I wanted, but it just doesn't have the internals quite the same. So
maybe the Max.
I'm I mean, a rework on the Freelancer and the Max may definitely have opportunity because if they make
I don't think the base one's getting a rework. No,
I mean, if they make the cargo a bit wider, then that means naturally the rest of it should get wider to compensate from it. So
except for maybe the cockpit, yeah.
Yeah, so it may well have more room for a sort of living space. So there's still potential for that. But we'll see. I mean, the other option is like a sort of slightly smaller Banu Merchantman. Now they've made that one bigger. If they kind of made an in-between one, so for smaller trading or something, that could be possible. I would like that, something like that. I do like alien ships and things like that. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit different.
For me, I just whatever comes out, if there's things to it. So if there's anything I like, but can't think of anything yet.
So I was just I lost your mic then.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying that if there's anything, generally I've got the ships that I've got now. I don't think there's anything I'm ever going to need now. And I've got to that point where I know I've spent quite a bit in the game that I think if I spend too much, I'd be stupid. So, and if I do...
You're so past stupid though, Bio.
I know.
Once you've gone past stupid, you may as well carry on.
You're so far past it. You're insane. Like, just go, carry on. Don't worry about it. Seriously.
How are you going to progress from this very start of the game if you have so many ships? What's your in your mind? Are you actually going to I am. I will start with the cheapest ship I have, and then when I earn enough money in game, I will upgrade to the next one in my hangar. I'll sell the starter ship for a bit of extra cash, and then I won't immediately jump into the Carrack. That is going to be the end goal for me, basically. But I'll try at least to keep it under wraps until at least I can tell to myself, okay, I've progressed in the game enough to be able to afford one.
For me, most of my ships are based for the org. So they're all for addicted. Just because my Polaris was most of the guys in the org actually donated me money for the Polaris.
Oh, okay.
I paid half of it, and then the other guys paid the rest.
Wow,
And it was really cool. So with the Polaris is a mothership. We've got 4 Polarises in total. They're all going to be motherships. They're all going to be something that's going to help the other players, like want to do multi-crew and that kind of thing. And we've got enough people to work out that we've got enough people to fly them and stuff. But my ship I'm mainly going to be staying in is my Cutlass. Cutlass Black. And I've got a Cutlass Red and a Cutlass Blue.
Good luck taking a piss in that thing.
I am going to literally open at the back, stand there, and just watch it trail.
Take a shit on the...
I just stole something. There's a bounty hunter on my tail. I'm literally going to piss at it, and hopefully it just like stops it from saying.
Look at that floater. There's another asteroid.
Literally.
Shit, you pilots. Pilots.
Will it splat or will it bounce in space? That's the thing.
Puts the brakes on.
But you need windscreen wipers then.
yeah, definitely.
Do you know what you need? You need to have the toilet attachment to the back of the out on the outside to the back of this. The back of the. I don't know. It's a new modular thing that they're adding.
How
to
about
the back
just
of
towing
it.
a portaloo behind it?
Tow it. You have to...
I'm hoping that like you'll be able to kind of put a toilet into something, like something could be modular enough so you can get
cargo box. Here, I got your cargo. Oh no, wrong one.
No, but this was like kind of
Death of a spaceman. How did you die? I died in the portaloo.
I stuck my head in it. Drowned.
This was something actually we were discussing quite a few months ago when was the Drake ship, the super fast one, the Data Runner.
The Herald.
The Herald, yeah.
Herald.
That has a toilet in, but it doesn't seem to have any piping or anything, disposal. But it's connected right to where the pipes towards the engine goes. So we were thinking, we think that's like the afterburner fuel intake. So
You get your mate sat on it like,
we need to go faster. Get in the fucking curry and get on that shitter.
Wow.
Someone sat there basically drinking lots of dropping lots of eye drops into their water.
Oh god.
No.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
Wow.
That's the new roleplay for
that
the
made a
second
good
player.
topic, but I can't even remember what the hell it was now.
That made a good
yeah,
topic.
so this is
we're
something
just talking
that
about
people were
ships, what people want to
discussing.
buy.
This is something people were talking about on Facebook, and it's like, so there is no levels and stuff in this game. So obviously, achieving things is like buying ships, earning your bigger ship to go to. That's normally what drives people forward. So what do you think? How do you think this sort of buying your best ship or the ship you really want, is this going to affect your gameplay? Do you think it's going to? Obviously, you're going to have to earn money to run that ship. Do you think it's going to make your gameplay shorter because you've kind of just bang, I've got the ship I want straight out the box, or what?
Like for the Polaris, it's going to take a long time for us to be able to fly that thing. You're going to think about, like, if they give you the ship fully kind of fueled, because this is the question, like, that does the ship when you first go in the game, all your ships ready fueled and ready ammoed up? We don't know. We might have to just get the base ship and say, oh yeah, now you've got to buy the fuel. If you've got to buy the fuel and buy the ammo and load it up, that Polaris is going to be very expensive to load up. So
but it's not just that; it's all the components. Because when you buy the ship, it's going to be with the basest of components. And if you go to if you go with the base Polaris against a much smaller ship but has the best components that you could possibly get, you may not fare as well as you think. So it will still be quite a huge money investment and time and gameplay investment just to get a ship that can be can take it.
So do you think purchasing the ship will be a minor cost compared to the rest of it, like running it and equipping it?
And nearly dangerous it is.
Okay.
Well, here's my question in terms of, like, okay, so I buy a Polaris, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge ship. It's not going to fit.
Yeah.
Are you gonna, like in the UK or anywhere in the world, you have to pay if you moor a vehicle like a yacht, the way I look at it, you have to pay a fee to have it stay somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, to keep it safe, And so I imagine the same thing will be with these giant ships. You're going to have to pay a fee every month or everything to keep them safe so people don't blow the shit out of them and steal them. So I'm curious.
Hangers by the end of it.
Yeah, well,
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, but the hangar will have to be absolutely pretty massive to hold a Polaris or a Javelin.
Yeah, well,
right?
you know, I think the
There
Polaris
won't be
is-
hangars for those ships. Even an Indris is not. They said will not fit in any of
Well, I
the
think
hangars
the Polaris
that are
is the smallest capital that they said that could be able to dock.
Well, not a hangar so much, but you need unless you need
Dock,
a
yeah,
you
but-
need somewhere to dock them.
Yeah.
So right out of the gate, you bought a very expensive ship, and this is my interesting thing. All right, okay, this is what I
with
was
the
thinking.
big target painted on
I was
it.
going to say you've got a big target.
No
with
way
it,
protected, just
but-
sitting there in
but
space.
you've got okay, look, I'm just going to put it in terms of if this was to be the case, I've bought a Javelin, I've bought a Polaris, I've bought another ship. Okay, I bought all these ships on day one. I'm minus 1,233 UEC because that's how much it's going to cost me to keep all of these ships in a safe hangar in the game. I'm minus that on immediately at the day one. I'm minus a huge sum of money. Has anyone ever thought about that? Like how much money
have
the
to
first
buy
day
currency
potentially is
which
going to
probably
cost
what these
me?
people will do. But
I'm just thinking that.
Totally
I-
agree with you.
you
Totally.
think
I
about
don't
I
think. One thing they could do
Didn't
is
think about that, did you guys?
one thing they
sell.
I'm going to start with an Aurora seat and work my way up from that.
one thing they could do to get around that is have vouchers for those ships when the game comes out.
So you don't
Okay.
activate it straight away, yeah.
Yeah, you don't activate it on day one. So only when you know you'll be able to afford the upkeep and the mooring do you, here's a piece of
That's a really
paper,
good point. That's a
give me
really- I mean,
Polaris.
That's a
Because
really
you
good
would-
point for all ships. They did that. Decided at the start, we'll wipe your ships, give you a voucher for them all, and you have to go and maybe start with maybe the starter ships or something come in your hangar, and the rest, or maybe just everything that fits in the hangar. I don't know, but yeah, so that's a good idea.
So
And then
therefore,
you can
yeah.
spawn
So,
them
so
when
all
you
those
want them,
ships
so they're
that
not
you've got
costing you
access to,
anything. Yeah.
you can't use, and you have to be like everybody else starts on day one in an Aurora.
Or the Mustang, yeah.
Or a Mustang, sorry, yeah, whatever starter ships are, yeah, for sure. Sorry,
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
about that one. Forgot about the Mustang. Yeah, the Mustang as well, yeah, for sure, the Mustang's good. But that would be, in my head, then, everyone then would be at the very beginning of day one going out and Star Citizen. We're all working to the same, some people have already got that Polaris, but the people that could be working really hard and could buy the Polaris for free and run it quicker than the people that potentially bought it out beforehand. Because they can't afford to run it because and then they'd be like, oh shit, I've got no friends. I bought this really expensive ship and I can't afford to run it for 2 years. And you see their mates kind of swanning by going, jog on, buddy, I've got test gaming. Fuck you, bye.
Lord Dunfungum says
Fair enough.
that the early backers, at least, they get free hangar fees on the starting planet.
Oh,
But this is
okay.
so that'll be good for your small ships. Anything that fits in a hangar, yeah, that will work. But anything outside of a hangar and larger, you're still gonna have the same issue, I think.
Yeah. So
And I
should
don't
start
know
with
about-
vouchers.
My Polaris is the only thing
Back
that's
that
big.
early.
before you cash it in, there's going to should be several big warnings. You don't seem to have a lot of money in your wallet. Are you sure you want to get this very expensive to keep up ship? Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was interesting.
And then you die from shark clones.
Shark loans killing you.
Yeah.
Just like it'll be like
Loan
I
sharks.
always-
The shark clones, loan sharks.
I
yeah.
always remember. I think it's like Roller Coaster Tycoon or SimCity, whatever, where you take out like 100,000 loan to get you going, and within about 5 minutes, I'm like 200,000 in debt, going shit, it's all going wrong. That will be literally my experience in Star Citizen. I'm like, crap, I've got a Carrack. I'm already broke within 5 minutes. I accidentally activated the Carrack on day one. Shit, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
What does this voucher do? Boom. Oh no.
Right. And concierge and customer support is going to be swarmed with people going, I didn't want to know what was it doing. Can you please turn it back into a voucher? I'll be
Or there'll
good.
be lots of suicides on day one. Get rid of that
Okay, yeah, but then-
reputation. Get rid
Yeah,
of
but
that
then the next character inherits the debt. It doesn't get the voucher. Gets the ship.
debt. Gets the debt.
And then you're even more fucked.
Yeah.
But it's something like I've talked about something then with you guys. Like I've never heard anybody else discuss before. I mean, seriously, I've never heard anyone discuss that. You guys might have, but I've never heard anyone talk about that before.
Like someone just put in chat, the Polaris is going to be an org ship for me. So it's not just going to be me that's going to be cost. Everyone's going to be working together to get these ships up and running.
So orgs should have like a combined fund where org members can, transfer money into, and then all the upkeep and the mooring and everything else will have to be removed from that org account.
But they've kind of spoken stuff like that. They've spoken about org insurance as well. Eventually in the future.
I'm trying to think of what MMO it was now. But basically, if you joined it might have been Warhammer Online, might have been one of them. So if you joined a guild or an org, the leader can set a tax that goes on all the people. So I mean, and this isn't an MMO, so you're not going to get money as it kind of like loot drops like you do in an MMO. But there could be a system where there's a tax for the guild, so that if maybe everything you trade, a small percentage of it goes to your guild fund. And then obviously whether you'd have to decide as a guild what sort of percentage you would want to give over to your guild fund. But I think something like that would be definitely useful to try and help run an org. And then, like you said, having an org bank or something like that, so people could deposit to it and run stuff. I think I can't see why they wouldn't do that. But yeah, I do hope they have some kind of tax system. I think it's a good way of making sure that everyone kind of participates without fleecing everybody. They can be tiny little percentage. It was, getting coppers, but with everybody doing stuff and every transaction, it all adds up in the end to help do it.
Yeah. ATV, guys, because we're so on time right now. Or shall we? I was going to say to people, if you wanted to watch about ATV, because it's about procedural planets, if you want to go wait for a redacted streamer to come on stream. They usually sit in front of some CitizenCon footage for about 3 hours. Feel free to watch them, and they'll give you everything about procedural.
Super Mac Brothers Ryan. If you want to go and watch one, go and watch him. He talks a lot about them.
I'm always ribbing Mac for it. I'm always ribbing him for it. Watch out! By the way, he's on the stream, on our stream quite a lot. It's in jest. It's not serious.
Right. So
it was like, what the fuck, madness? How dare you say this?
No, it's fine. You can say what you want.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
Free planet. It's a free planet.
So basically, terms of where we stand with the PTU and everything, we have where is it? The graphic of the bugs, because this Madness got a little bit confused with this.
I did. Miz corrected me beautifully on this as always, which is great because Miz is so much smarter.
So we started off with, I think this was the ATV one, so I'll put it up there. And we had 22 blockers. Is that the ATV one? 90, might not be because I thought there was more. 93 critical, loads of high, loads of moderate. Total of 179 bugs.
179 in total.
Yeah.
So bugs, tasks.
Yeah, that was it. That's exactly it. I said that, and then I think people were getting quite triggered with it, and I was like, okay, I do apologize. I just went for the very simple approach, which is clearly wrong. And then
a task could be fix a bug, or it could be put a new feature in.
Yes, exactly. And so I was very well corrected by Miserable.
Plus, it's like the actual. So this is to get to. So something they mentioned about on the burn down was getting the build for MVP, which I don't know why they used that when it's got nothing to do with MVP. It's most no, what the fuck was it now? Viable build. It was like a most viable product or something, which was to make it ready to release to the first wave PTU, basically. So they're deciding that basically I think they're re-evaluating. They did this a little bit with the Evocati. So obviously they wanted it all fixed. Oh, here, there's a nice clean patch build, and then they realised that this is going to take far too long. So they released it Evocati with a lot of errors and decided to break it down so that we work on little sections at a time. Minimum viable product, there we go. I knew it was there somewhere, so they've used MVP still. But and then what they've decided to do now, I think, is exactly the same thing. So we've only got 22 blockers to get it onto the PTU, so that's a lot better than 179. But they also have quite a high critical, which I think is not quite a blocker, but they're going to want to get those ground down a bit. So
I
think what they're
think
going to do
the blockers and the criticals are the ones they want to get rid of, but
yeah.
anything in lower rank, they're fine with shipping with.
And so this is what they've decided. They're going to have a meeting, and they like to use the word triage a lot this week, I noticed. So they're going to triage and work out what's the best product that what level they're going to be happy at shipping this out to first wave PTU, which I think basically means they're going to work their damnedest to make sure we get this PTU wave at least out before Christmas, maybe even sooner than that. But I don't think we'll get live before Christmas, but I think that's what they're basically trying to work out, how they can juggle it so they can get it out to people to play.
Okay, this is where I get very angry, because I'm like one of those people that's probably not. I'm not going to be first wave PTU.
You're concierge, aren't you?
You're concierge, so you're not.
No.
You're not.
Are you a subscriber?
Wow.
I've won more than I've won. He's paid into the game about 300. I've actually won 6.
You're a subscriber though.
I'm a subscriber, so I won't get into PT wave 1. I'll get wave 2 probably.
Yeah, wave 2 now. Yeah, because they've changed it. So,
yeah, subscribers usually get wave 2. So wave 1 will be basically for bum chums, and wave 2 will be for all plebs like me. So I'm not happy about it. I'm fucking furious, in fact, because then it's just, again, it's more of the elitist little scrubs that seem to get into the. I'm just.
How can you say that?
I'm really angry. I want PTU to be.
You can't call me a scrub. How dare you?
I'm being completely selfish.
Take offence.
Completely angry about it because I want to play it at Christmas.
Yeah, but then if you think
those people, come on.
Yeah, but think about it this way: if they let it out, it's not going to be as smooth as the possibility of you're going to play it when it comes to you.
I don't give a shit. I won't really be watching you scrubs playing it. Fuck me, I'm going to have to watch Christmas time. I'm going to be sat there.
They might even turn around and say we can't even live.
That's it.
When it comes to
Twitch.
PTU, we can't even stream it.
Twitch is over. It's over. I can't watch any more of these people who've never streamed fucking Star Citizen for 7-8 months being able to play Wave 1 when I can't fucking play it and I've been streaming it for 6-7 months. I'm sorry. I'm furious about it. I'm genuinely furious about it. I'm like, I've been streaming this game for pretty much solidly for a year, and there are people who don't fucking stream the game who are allowed to stream the fucking game.
Do you reckon they'll allow us to stream it on PTU?
I'm out. I'm going to get a drink.
Do you reckon
Tell us how you really feel.
Do you reckon they'll allow us to stream it on PTU Wave 1?
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah. I mean, realistically, I'm not being funny. The way the game is now, we've seen so much on it through AtV, Gamescom, and everything else. They may as well just let us at Evocati stream it. You know, it's like there's not anything new that you haven't seen apart from just seeing annoying bugs.
No, I don't think though, because I would presume that Evocati is just so buggy they don't want that sort of publicity out. They don't want.
That's what I mean. I know they won't do it, but I feel kind of like that. You know, it's like you've seen it all, but I know why, because I play it and it's not streamable.
He just muted himself so he couldn't say anything.
When it went to I'll tell you all about it. Hang on, give me a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. That's basically what how it is.
PTU is a job. Evocati is a job. It's not just goofing around and playing the game. You are there specifically to test
talking about 3.0, guys. Come on, wake up.
Sorry, I'm glad to make Westbrook really happy. Really happy.
I'm a scrub.
Be able to and you know what? When it doesn't come out, I'll be like.
So what would you prefer that they do the random thing again?
I would like them to drop the first 3 waves so everyone can get it.
Well, no, that's pointless because the whole point of the testing thing is so that it's not to give it to specific people. They've picked it. It's to test in.
I'm thinking if they do this, Miz, if they drop it if they drop Wave 1 on the 8th of December, they don't officially end until the 15th of December. I could potentially sneak in on Wave 2 before they go away.
I wouldn't surprise me, mate, if it goes to full on PTU.
That's what I'm thinking.
By Christmas.
That's what my hope
anyone can play it, because I think that's what they want to try and do. Not just PTU Wave 1, I think they want to get it out.
Wave 1 is too small for me. Wave 1's too small for Christmas to be able to be...
No, I meant that they think they'll have it for everybody by Christmas. Just not live. So they can get away with it by saying this isn't hitting, this not live, it's still
1, 2 and 3.
Yeah. By the time you get to 3, I think that's everybody, really.
You go from Evocati to everybody, yeah.
Suck it.
I mean, the reason they generally drop it out of Evocati to PTU Wave 1, the reason to do it is to up the numbers to testability. That's mostly the reason. Obviously, they still want more bug reports, but really it's to testability. Introduce a few more people, but not too many. And then once they know that the servers are stable, they'll just open it up to the next wave. Make sure those servers are still stable, then they'll open it up to the rest.
No, I 100%. I think...
Do you reckon
if that happens? But my worry is that if they literally right now where we stand in terms of the time frame. Sorry to interrupt you, but where they stand right now, they have literally got to find no more major problems, because if they do, it's all going out the window. And I think we'll be lucky if we get Wave 1. It's honestly, they are so pressed for time now. We're the 20th of November right now.
What you need to do is spend about a few $100 more so you get to concierge, and then you'll definitely be in Wave 1.
That's a good idea. Maybe. We've got the sale coming up. I mean, maybe
just look at your missus now. Go, I love you.
He just shut up because his missus just walked past in the background. It's like, spend more money on ships. No, you freaking don't.
Literally, she comes in with like a sword. Bye, hands. No longer playing any computer game. No. But the thing is, the problem that I have, like I said, is that I've only invested a certain amount of money of my own money. I've actually won most of what I have. And stuff. So I don't think that counts towards the overall total.
I think it does, the overall value.
Yeah, Bios is saying no.
He doesn't know, though, because he's paid for his way, so he doesn't know.
Well, the Polaris I got through someone else, and it doesn't count towards anything.
So that was a gift, or was it gifted?
Technically, it was gifted, but I still paid for it. But I didn't pay it through.
So it doesn't add to his total.
So when you get gifted,
they're doing it like the starter packages. You've actually physically got to pay that much.
Yeah, you got to literally buy it out of your own wallet.
Because that was one of the things that really screwed up the referral system. Like, surely a referral is a referral, and this annoyed me on a smaller level, because you're trying to get people in the game. That's the whole point of a referral code. And so when they did the discounted ships, it was like, everybody, look, I got all my friends. I said, look, the packages are discounted. Go buy them. Go and join the game. You're not going to get a better value than this. And I got about 12 people now sitting there as bought the game, but they haven't spent the extra dollars more to count for a referral, because they have to spend $40. And it's like, well, what's the point? The point is you're referring them to get the game. That's what I did, and they got the freaking game. And now you're telling me they haven't spent enough. Now you tell someone that doesn't necessarily believe in this paying for stuff, do they need to spend a little bit more so you can get your referral perk? They're not going to do it.
Especially in the wake of the whole EA thing right now, telling new outsiders, you're going to spend more money.
You can have it's almost like it's like for us to almost say, don't buy it when it's on a discount, because I don't get your referral point from it. I mean, I don't care, because I've got 10 and I got the free ship, but I've got another 12 sitting there because they haven't spent enough, and it's just crazy. It's it's a referrals to get someone into the game. And any other game you play, even these bloody money blood sucking ones, a referral is a referral. That person buys the game regardless of cost of it. It counts as them getting the game. So yeah, it's a little bit shit, but there we go.
Ooh, salt from Miz.
Salt coming from my end.
They swapped.
I'm surrounded by salt.
Fist bump. Woo! Right.
Salt. Bring it on.
I have to go the other way, don't I? Because it kind of works that way for some reason.
I was looking for my little salt shaker then, but I couldn't find it.
Total fail. Did you want to?
Have we got any questions?
Yeah, let's go.
We're going to move on to questions. If we've got any, if we haven't, we won't bother.
If not, we can always just show some video footage of Star Citizen and talk over it. It's fine.
I'll go to bed.
Let me just find document.
Oh, if you want to chat, if you want to ask us questions, in brackets question as well. So if you don't want to go through the whole hassle of filling in a form.
No, they have to go through the whole hassle of filling the form.
No, it's fine.
In triplicates, please.
Okay, we've got 9 questions. As long as they're not all troll ones, we should be all right.
It should be good.
There will be. Should we have a percentage, like a guess on
how many out of the 9 are trolls?
Brackets question as well. It's fine.
I would say 2.
What was the question?
Don't worry.
2.
You're like, what? I'm awake now.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy sounding do you think the BMM engines will be? On a 1 to 10, I'm going to go with 9.
I'm going to stop you there. Hold that thought. We're going to go through these questions on here first because some people did fill out the form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go through them first. Okay, Mr. Square Peg. He asked everybody, what are your thoughts on Facebook possibly buying out Discord? Interesting question.
I'll put them in Discord, this question.
I hope not.
Yeek. Yeah, me neither, because they bought Oculus
put them in Discord or something, man. That's a good idea.
I'll put them in general for questions.
I hope Discord's smart enough to not go down that route.
If they do that, then I'll probably will jump ship to Spectrum, to be honest, because I don't want to be forced to use Facebook for something like Discord. That's terrible. Although I wonder if this has been brought up because they've done that link now, haven't they? In Discord, when you log up, you can link your Facebook account and tell people that you're in. Fuck that! No way.
No, but you've been able to link other apps before. I think they just added Facebook right now.
Just imagine like linking the +18 channels. Discord. You don't want that on Facebook.
Discord, no. So I think are we all in agreement. Anyone else got anything to say on that?
Remind me of the question, sorry, because I was copying questions.
Would you? What are your thoughts on Facebook buying Discord?
Oh, Facebook buying Discord. What's my thoughts on it? I think it will be potentially could be the end of Discord, and we'll all be moving to Spectrum because all what's going to happen is Discord's going to be full of fucking adverts and just smothered in bullshit.
Wait, is
this Facebook mini games?
Is this like founded in anything, or is it just like from people noticing that it can connect to Facebook?
Because of that Facebook thing that came up.
I think
because the others.
If you go into settings and connections, you have like loads of other stuff you can connect
but
to.
They've only ever been in settings connections. This one, it was literally an advert on the top. Link your Facebook. I mean, I'm just saying this is what made him ask it because it's like a in your face. Link your Facebook account, whereas it hasn't done it for Twitch or anything else. It was just like. Link this.
It has done it. It has done it for Twitch for me. Yeah, like if you were on like ages ago when Discord first came out.
Mr. Square Peg asked the question. So if you're still in chat, let us know if this is based on anything or you just asking because you saw the advert. Because
I mean,
if there is something a basis to it, then I'd be a bit more worried. Hopefully there's no basis.
Google it. Google it.
Okay.
I'm googling.
Next question. While Darj Googles that.
Bad.
Yeah,
there's no mentions. There's no mentions. Basically, it's how is Discord making money, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad.
They're already making money now with this whole pro Discord thing.
Start forcing us to fucking go into Facebook. We have to sign up through a Facebook, and it'll be just the hell on earth. And I can't stand.
This is the reason why I'm still single is because I can't go on Tinder because for Tinder you need a Facebook account.
Oh, it's just awful. It's awful. It's awful. I hate it. It's like forced coupling through Facebook.
That's really good. That was good.
I agree. It's
not for you, obviously, because you're still single, but that is good. That's good.
Just laughing at you for being single. That's
No,
really nice.
I'm not laughing at
just
that.
mute Bio, the bastard?
That's a
Bio
good
the
question.
bastard. That's his new name. Just laughing at single people out there. Yeah. So remember that, everybody.
Bio
laughs at single people.
It takes one to know one, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why you're single. Right, okay. So the prisoner asks for small one-seater fighters, using the interactive panels while dogfighting isn't an easy way to use options. Of course, we have key commands, voice attack, etc. I was just curious, while dogfighting would use the MFDs. Does he mean would you use the MFDs?
Hang on. What's the question?
Probably not. No.
I think he's just saying in small fighters, because you're single player, would you use the MFDs while dogfighting?
I use them Yes, and I'll explain the reasons why I was so salty about
After
the
the
Gladius
podcast.
losing an MFD. You want to know yourself, where you sit in the situation of a dogfight. You want to know the status of your ship. You want to know the status of your opponent's ship, and potentially with stealth, you want to know and all these new mechanics in terms of hiding things. You want to be able to know how your EM, your readings, your IR readings, and all this kind of stuff in terms of for like missiles, torpedoes, all this stuff, how you can evade them. Okay, and I do.
Sorry
this
for
already.
interrupting. That's not the question, though. The question is, in the middle of a dogfight,
Yes.
would you use the mouse to control the functions of the
oh,
ship via MFDs instead of?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. He was using the mouse. No, absolutely not. 100% no.
No, key shortcuts and voice attack. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just saying that's you need to use. But yeah, no.
No, not in a dogfight. No, definitely.
No, never. It would all be done through just glances. You'd never. You'd set up what MFDs you want as your main pieces of information, and what I've just said to you. That's what you want to see in a dogfight at the moment. Going forward, we might need other things to see, but that's what you need to see right now. Especially that's what I want to see, and I'm always looking, just glancing all the time. But
but for using the inner thought system during a dogfight, you wouldn't do it. No.
Only if you're in a big ship and you've got a friend who's sat in another seat. That's it.
That's the point of the question.
That is exactly the point of the question.
Well, I answered it in a long and boring way.
So basically, no.
Sorry.
Okay, so Mr. Squarepeg says that he's basing it on that Discord does not make much money. Well, that's fair enough. But he also says that Facebook has been eyeballing Discord and they have the infrastructure.
And he's just said he talks with people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the basis, but maybe he's got some information. Either way, we all hope not, because it will be the death of it. It will be the death of it. I tell you that.
Yeah, it will be the death of it. I think
Discord gamers know what they you find a gamer that likes to go on Facebook. There's not many, so it will be the death of it.
Facebook is the EA of social networks.
Discord would do better to come out to the gaming community and be square with us and say, "Hey guys, look, we're not making enough money. Yeah. We need to maybe add some. If we're going to add some advertisements to generate a bit of money, where and how could we potentially do it that wouldn't affect your enjoyment of Discord?" And I would say to them, we could have a nice general. I think if we did like an adult to adult conversation with them, I think we could actually generate a really good, and it would generate them some money, and it wouldn't be too intrusive, and we could still enjoy it. If Facebook gets a hold of it, they're just gonna fucking rape this shit with adverts, and it's gonna be and it'll die, and some other startup will create it, or we'll move to Spectrum. Is that simple? That'll be it. It'll be the end of
There's already been TeamSpeak and things else people use, and if someone sees Discord do that, then they'll just imitate Discord. So, but yeah, my honest opinion is I think it will kill it. It will kill Discord because people just do not like Facebook enough.
I barely was able to ditch Skype once Discord introduced video calling, so I don't want to jump ship again.
Just look at
Skype.
Look at Instagram, and we'll get our general chats would be inundated with fucking adverts of shit that we don't want to be advertised on our channels. That's what would happen. We'd get check out on Twitter. It would be like
not just adverts either. I mean, a lot of people don't like Facebook because of the data they have, and everybody's watching you all the time, and it'll be tracking your location, and then the next thing you know, it'll be Discord will then be telling you where you're standing. Oh, he's in the supermarket at the tomato aisle. It'll just get fucking ridiculous. So yeah, and then there'll be people sharing. And anyway, don't even feel.
Exactly. Just like
right. Next question.
Next question. Yeah,
I think Discord's right now is perfect as it is. Don't change it. But if you need more money, tell us.
Tell us exactly. Mr. Squarepeg asks, I say that the wreck that you can see from space is the Dreadnought from Squadron 42. What are your thoughts on this?
No.
I say no.
No, that would be too much of a spoiler.
Talking about that, when you were saying, talking about this dereliction, do you reckon they're going to remove that from PTU? Because that's going to be cruel for everyone if the first wave actually find that for anyone else.
I think it might be a.
It's not going to have anything special in it. It's just something to walk around.
But you know what I mean.
I don't think it's going to be anything new. I think it's just going to be the ship we saw at Gamescom. Was it the Javelin? Yeah.
Maybe there'd be a Javelin or a Bengal carrier.
I don't think it could be a Vandal ship, but I think they'll save that for Squadron 42.
Yeah, I think that's too spoilery. I think they would only add into the game stuff like in-game assets that we've already seen, and the only one that comes to mind is the Gamescom Javelin.
Here's a question: what was the ship that they were walking in at CitizenCon in 2016 when they walked on its side? It was like in Star Wars when they were inside and the sandworm appeared at the end.
That's the Javelin. That's the one I'm talking about.
So then it won't be that. Then it'll have to be something else. It'll be a Bengal carrier, or
why would it have to be something else?
Because they've already shown us it.
So
yeah, they've already shown us it, and they've said it's
not that. It's something else.
Oh, they said it's not that.
Yeah, it's not something that we know of. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
so
okay.
Vandal
so,
ship, maybe, yeah.
So it could be the Vandal ship, or it could be a Javelin, or maybe it's a Banu Defender, or a Banu.
Because we've seen hints of we've seen hints of a crashed Vandal ship, haven't we? The big one.
That is true. The driller, yeah.
And we've only seen parts of it.
Yeah,
And you're supposed to be able to see it from space.
Now that you're knowing that, do you reckon that'd be a bit cruel for me to find it, and there's going to be other people who are really looking forward to finding that ship?
Get over it.
And then there's me going on PTU first wave, and I find
and don't you dare tell anyone where it is.
I'll be streaming it.
You know that's going to happen, right? Literally, that's what's going to happen.
Because that's the first thing that.
Hide it. I don't think that because they may, but I don't think they'll worry about that. It'll get a lot of salt if it happens, but
it could be a kingship. We'll see. It could be a driller. I think it's more likely a driller than a kingship, but.
Yeah.
Well, we have seen both the kingship and the driller in game, like in that attack on Port Olisar clip.
Yeah.
Yes, the driller and the kingship do jump in.
Okay, that'll be interesting. I mean, whatever it is, I can't wait to have a look. That's going to be definitely a goal for keeping you busy, trying to find out what the hell it is and where it is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not going to be. I mean, to see it from space, it still could be difficult to find. So, again, so next question, Mr. Square Peg asks, when is the anniversary sale? Well, we did go over that in the podcast.
It's linked.
24th.
24th it starts. Yes, it's linked.
We can bring the link.
There's an article in the comlink on the Robert Space Industries website.
We got it here. We got the link. I'll drop it.
We can send you the link. We can 24th to like something like the second
anniversary special.
To be fair, you could have put that question ages ago, and then we spoke.
Yep. That's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fine. That's why we're reading it. I'm not being condescending. It's all questions are very much appreciated.
Next one.
So the next one is from Mr. Bunsen, and he says, speaking of the cargo holds gravity floor. See, this is like you said last earlier. Everyone remembers the teaser from CitizenCon where the caterpillar gets damaged and the cargo started floating around. Do you think this will actually be an in-game mechanic? Yes, I do. Yes. I think it's like the power gets taken out, and they said that about the outpost. You can hit individual components and stuff. So I think,
right. So you could have, if you want to actually detach the cargo, you'd have to remove the power from the magnetic cargo floor and from the gravity. If you do just one or the other, one is still going to be magnetically attached to the floor, or it's going to be attached by gravity. So you could remove it if you just remove the magnetic. Yeah. If you just wanted to fly around, you need to completely remove the power.
Makes me want to have a canopy for my hangar so that I can actually secure everything down with a
magnet and then you pin it down manually with like a peg.
just in case. Just in case.
Like one of those pink straps for truckers, just pull it over and
just put it over.
Messy, and I like it, not gonna lie.
Done. Just in case.
There you go. You can put people under that. You can strap them down instead.
I mean, it'd be pretty awesome. It was awesome to see during the presentation of it blowing up and the cargo going everywhere. There's going to be some cool shit to see when you start blowing up transport ships and their loads.
Yeah, because they've done
the
whole ships have done damage.
I'm saying it, but their loads.
But not just that. Like if you wanted to, like go into your Starfarer and just have a bit of fun in 0G, just disable the gravity plating and just go have some fun. You don't have to destroy something. You could.
I like to destroy stuff, okay? I like to rage. It's got a magnetic and TARP will not work because the magnetic is what we're saying, we're turning it off, so anyway.
Got to strap them down. Next question.
Next question is...
Unless anyone's got anything else.
Anyone else here?
No? Okay.
You answered it well.
Yeah, it was a good answer.
What was the
next question is 3.0. 3.0. Fuck's sake.
3 pointy.
It's the way he's wrote it. Okay, it's not written it.
3 pointy
point 3 POYNT, and then a gap. Oh.
3.0.
3.0. It's probably a troll one now, anyway.
Yeah, carry on.
Yep. What did he? Oh, it is a troll question, isn't it?
I wonder, since ship gets insured and we pay fees, do we get something akin to roadside assistance services, or maybe excellent driver discount, or insert product coupons? I hate that new thing that they're doing on cars now. We have the app and it tells you whether you're driving well or not. Have you seen that? So like
economically or shit like that.
If you're if you're braking too hard, if you're accelerating too hard, this app monitors everything you're fucking doing in the car. So that it's meant to be for young drivers, so that because their insurance is really high. Now they've implemented it for old people because apparently they're driving shit. And people are like, "Oh, this is fantastic." I do realise this is a slippery slope to just everybody's going to have one.
It's Big Brother. It's this Big Brother driving now. It's like literally it may as well just be automotive cars like Tesla wants. No point us ever driving anymore. Just let it all be done by computers.
It's not just Tesla. Like just about every manufacturer has some sort of autonomous driving, like keeping you in your lane and speed and distance to others.
There'll be no point. In 20 years' time, no one will be taking any driving tests because they won't fucking need to. But no, I in Star Citizen, the idea of like having an AI or whatever constantly nagging me, I would probably rip its circuit. I'd rip its circuits.
No, he said like roadside assistance.
Roadside assistance.
He has a point. There is a point to that it will exist to a certain degree, and that's in terms of your insurance claims. So if you make multiple insurance claims, you will be considered a bad pilot or whatever, and your cover will go up. So there is an element of that. Yes, roadside assistance is. I don't know whether you would.
RAC.
I don't
know for a player for your help.
Maybe not. It maybe not be tied to your insurance, but there'll certainly be people employed as on road repair and stuff like that. So so you could just drop a rescue beacon and they'll show up hopefully before the pirates do.
I just imagine somebody coming along with a jack, try and jack your ship up. Jack.
I'm roadside assistance. Oh, please come and fix my ship. No, we're pirates actually. Not again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that would be. It would be an interesting. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to. I'm just thinking like Ocean's 11 intercepting the line calls so that you pretend to be the RAC or whatever. Yeah, very cool. Okay, next question.
Okay, the next question is from Bang, and it says, "If you would combine two known good SC ships into one glorious heaping pile of junk, what would you name it? What would its role? What role would it do?"
Wow, that's a really good one. That is a fantastic question.
2 ships. And I'll take 2 ships.
Okay, hang on. I've already got the first part. It's Star because the Pharaoh is shit. Star, and then what will be the next?
Are we? Do we have to combine its names or just take
what would you call
two concepts of ships and then what you call it?
Name it.
So a Nox and a hull. So you're basically a motorcycle cargo hauler
with a great big trailer on the back.
It's going to be called the Bloody Awful.
It's going to be called the Bloody Awful. Nice. What's yours, Bio? Hang on, someone wants me to repeat the question. So the question is, if you would combine 2 known good Star Citizen ships into one glorious heaping pile of junk, I think you just need to make it into another one, what would you name it and what role would it do?
That's a really hard question.
I suppose I kept the role from one of the ships. Yeah.
That's I'm just thinking Star Pillar,
Star Pillar.
Pile
right, okay, Starfur and Caterpillar.
Yeah. Star Cat.
Would probably...
could be Star Cat. Would be quite a good one as well, maybe.
Space Kitten.
Space Kitten.
And then you could have it just literally Star Kitten all over it. There you go. Star Cat. There you go. I've done it. I created the ship. It will be covered in Star Kitten. It's a combination of the Starfarer and the Caterpillar, and it's just fully Star Kitten everywhere. Literally, you name it, every square inch covered in Star Kitten memorabilia, and just it's loaded. It's basically the ship that travels the verse as selling Star Kitten everywhere. It's got huge megaphones on it.
That is a huge pile of shit. Yes.
It is a huge pile of shit. There you go, the Star.
How about Starfarer and the Cartwell Scout? It's just a big heaping jumping ship with loads of like prongs that come out of it. You could call it like the Tarantula or the Black Widow. It's just fucking hulking thing with these.
Bangster.
I can't think of any.
With a separate cargo bit on every one of those prongs, so if you wanted to, you just keep turning and undulating, and you wouldn't be able to do anything.
And it shoots the cargo pods.
I'm trying to think of something funny, but all I'm thinking of is practical, and that's a Polaris and got the EMP. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, that's pretty good. I'm liking the
call it the PEM.
The Nox Javelin. That sounds really slow. Huge, dragging its gun along the ground.
The Bang Stang Merchant Man. Yeah, that's a good idea. The Bang Stang Merchant Man. The Bang Man, you could call it. I'm the Bang Man. Time to get the Bang Man out.
Worst superhero ever.
My special powers is I can bang. I'm a man. Okay. Anyone else with that? I think we've done them all.
I think we've done everyone. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Bang.
Thank you. Great question.
If that is actually your name in chat, but thank you. That was
Bang. Was it Bang Chow? Was that the guy's name?
Just said Bang. Bang Man. Oh, maybe definitely Bang Chow then. Yeah. Thanks, Bang Chow. That was a good one.
Bang Man. Whatever, whoever it was, great question. Thank you so much.
Not Dr. Drones is asked, Darjanator, how's the transmission still blown? It's very personal.
No, the thing is that when I was coming home from was it from Frankfurt or something?
I think
it's been so long and so much alcohol involved. I blew a tranny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I heard about you blowing trannies.
Yeah, I was no, it was from coming home from Gamescom. Yeah. And it was stuck in Germany for 2 weeks until I finally managed to get transport back home. Yes, tranny is still blown. Had to get it replaced.
Maybe he met Bang Man.
Maybe.
So the next question is Maverick, and he says, thoughts on the Retaliator, give up hope or possible modular gold mine?
Oh, say that again. Well, sorry, just for me.
Retaliator, give up hope on it or possible modular gold mine, as in.
Okay, so
it can be modular to fuck. I don't know.
This is my thought on it at the moment. We have yet to see CIG really crack any complicated animation mechanics besides walking over things. Now, granted, it was fantastic and it did smooth. I would have, if I hadn't have seen that, instantaneously 100% of me would have said is waste of time. It's never going to work. They can't get shit to work. But because I saw that animation and the guy walking over, I'm a little hesitant to say completely to write it off. But at the moment, based purely on what we've seen in terms of ships and how they actually get them to do anything, it's a complete waste of fucking time and you should get rid of it. That's my complete view on it, because we've got a Starfarer does nothing. We've got a Prospector that's going to do nothing.
Okay.
We've got loads of shit that do nothing. That's it. Finished. That's my done. That's my
I think realistically at the moment it's like there's nothing worth writing off until we're closer to seeing mechanics and stuff, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
You can't really write off something when we haven't really finished what's being.
Have trust in the CR.
Have trust. Okay.
If you're going on purely on what they've done, is what I'm saying. If you trust them, you can always buy it and then have the buyback, so that you can always buy back when you see the animations and you're like, yay, they've got it.
It's okay, Madness. Let it go.
Sorry.
Let it go. Next question is from Transmission Wind, and he says, any game or games other than Star Citizen that you're anticipating for 2018? And he's done a double barrel question, which is a bit sneaky. But he says, what's inside your left pocket right now?
Which left pocket I have? For I have many.
Well, whatever one's got something in it. So, hang on. I'll answer this
they're both
I'm going to put something in it just to take something out.
I have a bottle top.
These were actually in my pocket, to be honest, but
Interesting. Yeah, so a bottle top.
The little pouch. There's some cards.
I have a receipt for a cactus compost, a Cover pot washing den, a slate chipping, and a multi-purpose compost.
Best question ever. Thank you very much.
Legitimately,
what you're doing at the weekend.
That's legitimately what I have a receipt for.
Darkies.
Plants.
Cookies.
And the Squadron 42.
Yes, Squadron,
nice.
Squadron 42 and Star Citizen dog tags and the mandatory...
Remove before
flight.
Nice. Yeah, so as to the first part of the question, I don't know any other games now that's coming out next year.
Is Cyberpunk 2077 slated for 18?
Yeah, maybe, but Sea of Thieves possibly is my one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves.
I
They
have
need to
signed
build
up
on
for
it a
that.
bit more, but yeah, potentially.
What games we're looking forward to, did they say, in 2018?
Yeah, anticipating.
And what's that sort of like space game where they kind of also have like huge planets and...
Anthem or Evil Dead Beyond Evil Good or whatever it is. God.
Beyond Good and Evil?
Beyond Good and
Yeah.
Evil 2, yeah. That won't be
Yeah, I
out
think
next year,
that
though.
won't be a... So, yeah, those are the two games I'm looking forward to, and apparently neither will be out in 18, so...
Great.
Star Citizen.
No,
It's just...
Okay, so we're now going to remove Bio from the podcast because he couldn't answer a simple question. So,
Hey!
Anthem. I'm looking forward to Anthem from BioWare.
Furiously
Next.
googles.
Next one is Lurch Dog, and he says, will the bed system be implemented in 3.0 and how will it work? If we had got round to ATV, that question would have been nicely answered, and the answer is yes. It's something they're working on at the moment, and that's part of the features that they're actually adding. So yes, it is supposed to be working in 3.0.
Watch ATV.
Looking forward. No, that's why they watch us.
Ooh.
Don't tell them to go and watch ATV. That's
I just thought of a game, State of
just
Decay
didn't
2.
get to it.
Sorry, say that quietly.
I said I thought of a game, State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2. Okay, cool.
As good as the first one, but 2 times later.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully. Tom Reckoner asks, which city in Star Citizen are you looking forward to seeing the most? Oh, I got these questions. Hard ones. I don't know, because we haven't really heard a lot about a lot of the cities yet, have we? I think an alien one. I don't know which one, but one of the alien cities. I would love to see them and how they're going to be made different to the human ones.
I'd actually...
Is that the gas giant one as well.
Oh, Crusader.
How they're going to get that working in a gas
that's cool.
giant. That looks cool.
I was actually thinking, like, Area 18, that's like ARCorp, right? That's like the entire planets. I'm not really interested much in that. I'd much prefer to see, like, a brand new high-tech city that's on like a virginic planet that's mostly forest and lakes and oceans and mountains, but you have this just small pockets of high-tech civilization somewhere. You know, something like that. And I don't know if there's any equivalent in Star Citizen so far.
I don't know. The law is something I need to brush up a little bit more. I've been listening to some of it, but not a lot. And I know they do get some of that sort of information on the laws posts and that. So it's definitely something I need to work at watching. I just keep watching Critical Role by mistake. So I've got only another 300 hours of that to go, and then I can free up some time.
It's a good thing I started several years ago, because I'm current. I listened to everything. They finished, by the way.
I know they're going to start the next one before I bloody get round to it. So.
No, they're going to start next one come next year. So January, possibly February.
So I've got a bit of time. We'll see.
Not enough.
Not enough time, no. I've got to do 300 hours in the next couple of months. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Are there even 300 hours in the next couple of months?
Probably not.
60 days times 24. No.
No.
No, there are, but you wouldn't get any sleep.
No. So has anyone else got anything to add to that for the cities? Or
I would say the same as you, Ms. Alien.
He's asking what one we're looking forward to the most. Is that what he was asking? I think for me, there's only one. I really want a tropical, either an Avatar type of world,
surprise.
you know. So like a really, if I could have Pandora in this world, I would be so happy because I'll always remember when I was
a city, but yeah.
I know, but you know what I mean in terms of like, well, that they would have like the equivalent. Their tree is their city.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True, they have that. Yeah, the tree city type. Of
the tree was kind of their city. So I mean, for me, if I was to have like any type of world or city or that type of thing, that I want Pandora. I love that movie. I was in LA when I watched it, and I think I watched the only movie I've watched probably 4 or 5 times, and I've come out of it really depressed because I'm like, this world is shit live in compared to this.
This is what I think with like a lot of games though, and that, and we've had this discussion a few times in my Discord. It's like so many times you sit there, these worlds are so much better. Is it any wonder people like escape from reality to come and play these because it has so much stuff in there that's so much cooler than what we can do.
Exactly that. That was earlier. So if they could crack a kind of an Avatar Pandora type of world, and have, really nice. I would probably, you would never see me again. Goodbye, guys.
Put your helmet on. You're gone. Plug yourself in.
Literally gone in a full blue suit. Goodbye, Avatar. Bye.
Okay, next question is Bangstangman, and he asks, you are a D-list superhero in Star Citizen. What is your your name and superpower? Well, I've already got mine now, the Bang Man. And he can bang things. That's his superpower.
I think you already gave me mine, bastard.
Yeah, you're a bastard.
Thank.
The
bastard. I'm not going to say what my power is with that name.
my name would be Billy Yum Yum 2x2, and my superpower is turning invisible, but only when no one can see me.
Right, okay.
It's good.
And good. Madness is just
salt. The Saltinator.
Just thinking about it.
He's the Saltinator, and he can shoot salt from his fingertips in the eyes.
Okay, that sounds good. I think we'll stick with that one.
The Saltinator.
I can season all your meals beautifully.
There you go, looking for the silver lining.
Tour ship, and he just sprinkle salt.
On my tour ship. Oh my god.
What is that song that the GIF, isn't it, where it's like sprinkle?
I think I'm gonna have to buy a tour ship for the anniversary sale now.
You're not going to be a pirate by the time this goes live. You know that.
I know.
So that's all the questions on the form. Madness, do you want to?
We've got a couple of questions in Discord. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy sounding do you think the BMM engines were? That was from Sergeant Teddy Bear. Who, by the way, was on. If you haven't seen, I think it's
the happy hour.
Happy hour. He's
and Disco just started laughing with that.
Yeah,
just like caught me off guard.
So so how sexy on a 1 to 10? I've said 9 previously. I think that they will be very sexy, but there's always room for more sexy.
You can, and I think nothing's ever like the top of the scale because there's always room for
it's always room.
Better. But if it's anything like the dragonflies, oh damn, that's good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, it's good.
I actually think it's going to be like a love it or hate it thing. Ooh, like something like that.
Controversial.
So, like for instance, a lot of people love a Harley Davidson V2. A lot of people hate it, or an American V8 because of the flat crank. So I think it's going to be very distinct, and a lot of people are going to love it, and a lot of people just not going to go for it. I think it's going to be, if not for the banner mentioned, but I think it also has to be for at least some ships a deciding factor if you want to buy it or not. Because do you want to put up with that sort of noise that you hate all the time?
It's a good point. I mean, especially with like motorbikes are like that, and the more people do it with cars, isn't it? It's like that loud, really loud exhaust thing. Like, I like it.
I love it.
I hate it as well.
Well, you really can't do a 4-cylinder to sound that nice. I mean, it is possible, but it's really hard.
It's honestly, I'm telling you, there is nothing better than stepping onto a motorbike with a throbbing engine. And it just
That's good, but then when you see that there's little shitty cars where someone's just decided to stick the biggest fucking exhaust in the world, and you come up in your worst like scooter and probably still out accelerate.
Really?
Hairdryer.
Yeah. Yes. That's at that point. No, you know, and he knows he's a dick, and that's it. And there's no problem, and then you just accelerate away.
My car has
2 things,
and that's it.
That's it.
My car has 3.5-inch tailpipes. Just so you know.
Oh god, it's coming in.
It has a nice VSEG sound. You know, it's not one of those most anemic things. It does go so.
2 engines. Oh yeah.
Okay, I think that's that question covered.
Oh, next question was how long will the character take to be in game? Do you know? This is from Observant
26
Games.
hours.
From now.
If Observant Games is still around, that is a very difficult. They are currently doing they are in first production of the Carrack, so white box as far as I'm aware. If you go, there are some videos I think that Star Citizen have done if you look in their YouTube channel where they talk about the ship pipeline. I know that Board Gamer has done some videos on this as well, discussing, I think even Nubify has done it, just breaking down a little bit of the ship pipeline to give you a rough idea. But I think you're probably
They've sped
looking
up
at
a lot of the stuff, haven't they? So,
yeah, I think a minimum of probably maybe 3 months, I would say, would be a good starting point. After that, then, you know, we'll see.
They're starting, currently they're doing white box, well, over a month ago where they said they were doing white box of the interior. And then once that's done, they go to gray box. And once they have gray box of the interior, they can start doing the exterior. And so we might actually see the new design of it.
3.1? Well, effectively, I'm thinking maybe first quarter, possibly.
Yeah.
Or we'll see pictures of it.
Yeah, well, the pictures, I mean. Yeah. And will it be anything like Gurmak Basin's original concept? Because that's what sold me on it.
I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I was sold on the stats of the Carrack more than the looks, because I look at it and I go, it's a bit of a dog, if I'm being honest.
It's Serenity.
It's Serenity. That's why people have brought it. It reminds people.
I'm wondering, it doesn't look.
Really? It doesn't. The Freelancer reminds me.
No, it doesn't look.
No, maybe not look, but the arrangement, the dimensions are bang on. The arrangement, you got cockpit at the front, you got the cargo area with a ramp at the front,
and the way you would go up to the rest of the ship is exactly the same as you would do.
That's why I am thinking of getting it as my Winnebago thing, but it's just too big in some ways.
It's a 5.
That's what she said.
It's a 5 ship. You need a crew of 5 to really kind of make it work. So,
but the cockpit is so amazing, though.
Yeah. Oh no, look, dude, look, that's why I'm all over it. Like, I want to have it just so that I can either turn it down. But I don't. Yeah, it's not the most attractive looking, but like I said, the stats on it and what it does just seems to me like, yeah, I kind of want to have that ship. You know
and the new anvil design is actually getting to be very attractive looking, because it was. The concept was done when we still had the old Hornet, but now with the new Hornets, those are looking very nice.
Yeah. So, that's hopefully that answered the question. Anyone else want to add anything?
No, like I say, it's difficult to know time-wise.
Okay.
But definitely they're working on it, so a couple of months.
Yeah, they said what was it, a few happy hours ago, wasn't it? That it's being worked on. So that's a positive.
I expect them to do a really cool little, like they did with the Eclipse and stuff. I think they'll do a really nice advertisement for it, and they'll like the Pioneer as well, and they'll probably shock us with a really great trailer about exploration and that stuff, and then they'll drop a really cool, and we're announcing, and here's the Carrack, finally, a big unveil, and it'll be fantastic. I'd rather them do that actually than give us just like picture updates of it as it's coming along, if I'm being honest. I'd rather them just give us a big...
the Pioneer-esque sort of commercial would be amazing.
Yeah, exactly, for the Carrack. I think, because part of me is kind of worried... part of me is kind of worried that they'll give us a drip feed, and that's one of my big things with, like, when I see all these footage and stuff, I worry that my experience perhaps for getting into the cut list will be diminished a little bit, because I've just seen nothing but 3.0. Every time I step on, like I say, a redacted stream, all I'm seeing is the footage from Gamescom. All I'm seeing is the constant reminder of all the things I can't play, and I just worry that it's kind of diminishing. Imagine if you watched every single day for 3 hours, or every other day, or whatever it is, for 3 hours, the Star Wars trailer over and over and over and over and over, and then you go to watch the film. Part of me feels like I'm already figured out the storyline, the plot line, and I've already kind of analyzed exactly what I'm saying a million times. That's my concern. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's a good thing I don't do that then.
Yeah, I know, but that's my worry. That's always my worry. Is that I've seen it.
But don't do
this
it.
Is my concern. It doesn't happen, but this is my concern.
It's just my concern. It's just my concern. I'm talking out loud. Right. Next question. Okay. Okay. So, question is, what would be its main purpose?
I've only heard Carrack, is it?
Oh,
yeah,
the Carrack. Observing Games. He's asking what would be the main purpose of the Carrack.
Exploring. And it'd be armored.
I thought it was jump point charting. Those 4 things, the antennas were for jump.
Well, it's modular, isn't it?
Change it to something else.
It's modular, isn't it? So you can do pretty much. But the main purpose, it was by law, it was a military ship that got called out of commission. But then it got turned into an exploration ship, an armored exploration ship. To kind of, it was used because there was a lot of pirates, and basically there was one that protected them against pirates for long enough for people to come in and help them because of its armor and its abilities. But yeah, it's mainly exploration. But yeah, it's modular.
Yep. Bio nailed it. Good job, Dave. That's exactly it.
Next,
exactly what he said. Next one is from Lurchdog. Will the bed system be implemented in 3.0, and how will it work?
Rewind about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The answer is yes, and
yes,
it will work. That's where you log in and log out, right? As far as I'm aware.
Yes.
Yeah. System. So it's just like if you
People
wake up,
will test it.
If
you won't be able to just drop out of a battle though, because your ship will persist for a bit and before it disappears.
You just set the course. Just send it to Afterburner Stage 3. Jump out your seat and get into your bed. You'll be fine. Because they'll have to try and catch up with you.
They'll probably say you have to stop the ship.
Wow. Well, have they said that? Do we know?
No, we'll find out though.
That's what I'm expecting. So you'll wake up and you'll be careering into a sun. like, oh my god, no! Yeah, that'd be quite fun. Your ship persists.
Someone just sent me a picture of the Carrack. I think I saw someone else doing this as well. I'll just put it in on the thing.
Next question is: this is for you, Miz. Will you, Miz? This is
This is the Carrack. Go on.
Can you put it in Discord as well?
Will you let me use your account if Miz has access to Wave 1? I think they're asking you if you'll let me, because obviously I was raging earlier. No, exactly. Miz doesn't let me that.
Can you put that in Discord as well? Because I'm not in chat.
In general.
Yeah.
Or the Carrack thing. Oh yes, that is cool.
Yeah.
Right.
It's someone's done it as a. I've seen someone else working on it as well. He said he's got a 3D printer, so he's got the model. He said it's not no textures, but very detailed. And that's
the HoloViewer model.
Is it? Yeah. And I think
there's the HoloViewer.
Someone was working on one where they've put it into an engine and got like reflective.
Yeah, there's the ship viewer. It's made in Unreal Engine
model if you want. Yeah, sure. Yep.
I think if I have only one Anvil ship in my fleet, I'll be happy to have it. Carrack.
Yes.
I know. I have to. This might be my. I don't know. It's just big.
It's what she said.
Do you think you're going to be able to do it? Do you think you're going to be able to have it as a solo ship?
Yes, because you can have AI.
AI.
Yeah, but they're going to be good enough to run that.
You're like me though, Miz. I'm the same. I'm thinking for basic exploration, I still may want to have an Aquila. But I think the Carrack.
Thank you for pronouncing that correctly.
Oh, did I say it right?
Killer.
No.
Aquila.
Aquila.
The Aquila. Yeah, that's my
Aquila.
Aquila.
That's my. Those are my two for exploration. My and that's why I kind of want to have the Carrack, because the loaner ship for the Carrack is the Aquila.
So at least I can try out the Aquila, and then when I get a Carrack, if the Carrack turns out to be too big for me and I'm not manageable, I can always, just save up and have the Aquila and have the Carrack and, sell it or whatever I decide to do with it for the future.
We should have like a ship size only episode and just have like that's what she said on a button, so I just
pretty much. Well, if I get a Stream Deck, I'll do that. I'll just keep. I'm saying that for Stream Decks. I'll just get a thing. That's what she said, and every time just flash it on there. Bomb.
Hopefully, Mandus will never get a Stream.
Yeah, do you know what? But I would love to have a Terrapin. I agree. Like the Terrapin is, I'm falling more and more in love with the Terrapin the more I see it. But only
It's
because
quite a small little ship, isn't it?
I just, it's like the Herald. It's the same thing. I love the Herald. When I get into a Herald, I just go, I want to live here. It's fantastic, And I think the Terrapin from the outside, I look at it and go, I want to get in there. I want to see what it's about. I want to fly it. So, but the problem
is the Herald the hare?
I don't like
Terrapin the tortoise.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Exactly that. I could do the storytelling with those two ships. It's fantastic. But nursery rhymes for kids with the Terrapin and the
Herald.
They are exactly that. And but the problem is I can't. I don't want to part with real money for them because I just don't see. I don't see the financial benefit with real money for them. It's my problem. If I was rich, no problem. But I'm not. So I have to be a bit more wary with what I spend my money on. Or other people's winnings money. Or other people's won money.
Win one off of somebody else, that's normally the way.
Yeah, exactly. I would be more comfortable with it then. So yeah. Okay. And then that's all the questions in Discord. Anyone else want to ask a question before we close it, wrap it up?
I want to go to bed.
I think we'll
one
wrap
thing
it up.
to cover and then we'll wrap it up. Two things to cover. So first of all, Ethan Starr has just put a link in chat. I'll see if I can get it up on the thing. Anyway, so basically the round table, which is on the based show, was doing a thing about the demographics of Star Citizen, asking about the age range and everything else. And so she put a quick survey together, which is anonymous, and she would like you to take part. And
can you put that in Discord as well again?
Mail.
So I'm just trying
old
to
fart.
Take part and let everybody know. It's anonymous, so you don't have to give any details.
Okay, so my age, my address, my penis
social security number,
my mother's maiden name. Eden Star will be rich at the end of the survey. No, I'm just kidding. There
Discover new things. Email address, survey.
No.
So
Facebook. See, look, there it is.
Like,
yes, Facebook again.
What is your gender? And what is your
sorry,
age? It's just 2 questions, right? So nice and simple. Actually, there's 3 there. She said it was a 2-question thing. There's 3. It's asking what year you were born.
Honestly, it's outrageous.
Lies already. This is Star Citizen level of
wait,
lies.
Is it age range and also what year you were born?
Yeah.
No, I'm not signing up to Survey Monkey. Goodbye.
And so basically, if you want to do that survey. And,
wait, one question, because you haven't linked it in Discord, so I can't really check it out. But
it's in chat. It's in the chat. Can you see it now? I'll get it. Don't worry.
There you go.
I've got
in Discord.
got
Actually, that's a tweeter for it. You can retweet it as well, guys.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying there's age range, and
both.
Also what year you were born. What is the point of that? You can tell what age range you are from what year you were born.
She doesn't have to do maths. You can quickly say, look, this is the age range, and then later on you can quickly say, well, this is the age range. People, I don't know. She said it was added afterwards.
It was added after. It was clearly.
And someone suggested to just have that as an easier option. So.
Clearly, somebody that posts a lot of things on Spectrum
was involved in this. That's all I'm saying.
Mine's done. Sorted.
I've answered mine. 12 inches.
Wow. Okay, so
who doesn't want a 12-inch pizza? Come on,
guys. If you want to,
I had pizza today.
Okay. What flavour?
I don't know what the results are at the moment, but I would say that most people are going to be in the older range.
Yeah.
Especially that's into the game at the moment.
30 plus, because that's the only people that got money, let's be honest.
True.
To spend that kind of money on ships, you got to have a job.
You know what I mean? You can't be working
you rob your parents' credit card.
No, there will be young people. Okay, I'm going to put this. The people that I've seen who are young that stream this game are clearly mummy and daddy paying for a lot of stuff. It's usually they have really nice gear and really nice setups, and you're like, yeah, daddy. You know what I mean? And that's the reality.
So that's it. She just said basically you only have to answer question 2. That's the only mandatory one. The others are optional, which is the age range.
Well, we should have known that first.
I think the age has gone down. I think Star Marine brought the age down a little bit, but I think the reality Star Marine's still pretty broken. So I think the age has gone back.
Okay, let's sum it up then. Tell us what you're up to, and everything else. Madness, if you want to start. And I've got to.
I will be streaming when I can. At the moment, I'm going to be pretty busy over the next couple of days with work in terms of. I've got spring, summer 19 to do like really good concept drawings, so I'm going to be probably in. I won't be streaming as much, but I'll try and do my regular streams as much as possible. So check the space, follow me. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be a consistent streamer like some of the other people, but I'm consistent on a Monday and I'm consistent on a Friday afternoon. So come and see me then. Yeah.
Cool. So
I have literally no idea. I'm just going to bed.
Darj is just going to collapse and go to bed. So that's cool. Eden did ask.
Thank you, Darj.
I think is it a 3D thing in the background? Your sponge thingy.
Yeah. What about it?
She asked. She hadn't seen it before and said, "What is it?" Did you ask what is it, Eden?
It's sound insulation foam.
Yeah.
You can get it basically.
She said she hadn't seen it before, but it looked cool or something. I can't remember what she actually said now. Sorry, but it was something like that. But yeah.
Yeah. It basically it removes echo and reverb.
So cool.
And someone said they thought it was a green screen, but it's not. It's real.
It's not green.
So that's cool.
It's because you've got like a white aura around you.
Yeah.
Seriously, legitimately, you have a white aura around you. It's like you're
he has a
fading.
light behind him. Yeah, that's what it's there for. Amazing. So he looks like Jesus. Ooh. It's been sainted. That's why you look funky. Right. Okay. So and lastly, Bio's got a new show that I think he wants to tell everybody about. So
yeah, if you could show the image. I want to thank Night Kai for. Most people in this like Madness and Miz probably know about the show already. We tried starting it ages ago, me, Saints, and we tried starting it ages ago, but we're now actually going to start it again. It's going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be called Whispers of the Verse. It's basically a speculation show. We're going to pick a topic. We're going to pick up the facts of that topic. So we're going to start off with piracy again, like we did on the first time. And we're literally going to take every kind of fact of it and then speculate how we would think it could be later on in iterations and just go away with it. People can talk and have an open discussion and let your minds go free.
So it's theory crafting. It's theory crafting.
Yeah. Speculation, theory crafting, yeah. And that's going to be on Saturday at 9.
So you could have called it Theories of the Verse.
Well, just like Whispers of the Verse kind of just catch. Just kind of cool.
Just throwing it out there. I like Whispers of the Verse. You could have called it Theories. Just saying. Should have consulted me. Yeah,
anyway, so that's cool. That's that. Myself, I'm going to be streaming Paint Praetorium Roll tomorrow. Whether I do Star Citizen, well, I'm not sure. Depends if I get time. So late UK time, something like 11 PM. I'll have Desmarius on the show, and as usual, every week, well, when we try to do it, I'll be painting. I'm painting the Star Citizen pilot at the moment. I haven't got it in here, so I can't show you. I've got to clear it up a little bit, but it's going quite well-ish. So we're going to be carrying on with that. And then on Friday, I don't know if I am streaming it or not, but we're using Divinity Original Sin 2 game, and I'm going to do some D&D with a bunch of people in Discord. It's mainly going to be setting up and things like that, so I may stream it. I may not, depending, because it might just be boring. So we'll just while we set up and make characters and stuff, we'll see.
That's cool as well.
What's that? Sorry.
That's cool as well.
Yeah, it might be a good laugh, and we're just because there's a lot of us getting together, so just talking about it, thinking about characters. We're just going to probably do a very quick, like one dungeon or one pre-made like dungeon thing, which won't take too long because everyone's learning. I've never been a DM before, and haven't even played D&D. So
yeah, one shots are cool for that sort of thing, just to get your head around things.
And it's because it's been using the computer game. It's kind of a lot of the measurements and stuff's going to be taken out of my hand a little bit, and then it'll just be a bit of storytelling. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we'll build it up over time and we're going to have a big campaign as well and everything. So anyway, that's what I'm doing this week.
Nice.
Anybody else got anything to say? Otherwise we'll sum it up there.
No, just go check out Critical Role.
Speaking of D&D.
I might have to get some dice, and I might have to get the manuals as well. What is that?
Yeah. And I've just made a new friend for life, I think, with Darj, because we're going to go discuss D&D and get some
it's an amethyst.
Oh, dude, awesome. Oh, man. I honestly, I am completely converted, dude. We will talk off stream.
Yes, but just not tonight.
Not tonight. No, next time. Yeah. We'll talk later.
Okay,
I'll message you.
We're hosting someone.
Yeah, okay.
We'll go and raid Red Lear, shall we?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll just put it in chat.
Go Red the Lear.
So, guys, if you want to go and raid Red Lear,
new raid feature. New raid feature.
Yeah, new raid feature. Woo! Click it above. It's on the top. It'll be.
So there we go. So at the top of the thing, click join, and you can go and raid him.
Thanks,
everybody, for coming and watching us. Anyone that missed the show, the start or the end of it, we will be uploading it to YouTube tomorrow, and also I think somewhere on the sounds maybe. But all the details will be on there, so you'll be able to find that. Once again, thanks for all your support. Really appreciate you all being here. We're here every week, 9 PM on a Monday. Madis and myself are hosting, and we'll grab as many guests as we can to get on and talk a load of crap like we normally do. So thank you very much. Join in the raid. Yeah. And we will see you next week when this bar goes across, and I'm not talking out my arse for the next couple of minutes.
We can just do a long steer around the...
This new feature just keeps going on and
but
on.
The new feature is awesome. The pub is also awesome. Make sure you go and give him a follow. And everybody, thanks for the bits and all that as well. Really appreciate it, and all the follows. And we shall see you next week.
Thank you all for coming and hanging out. Love you all. Good night. Darj, thank you so much, dude. I know it's late for you. Appreciate that, man. Catch you later, dude.